I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
hands on your bed, I'm turning my flaws into children of chalk.
Salute, 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 and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we get in the deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand the tone of the broadcast tonight. If the intro didn't put you up on game, well, I hope you saw the message on my community tab. This is going to be a brutal and unforgiving broadcast because, as you know, as a member of New Black Media, I'm not the sugarcoat guy. I'm not trying to coddle. I'm not trying to be politically correct. Not the guy that shy away from curse words. When they need to be used, they're going to get used over here, okay? Or we going to get surgical on this thing tonight. Oh, yeah. Training day surgical. I'm surgical with this thing, Jake. Oh, yeah. We finna go Lonzo on Kamala and the Democrats tonight because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be reviewing the Kamala Harris Fox News interview, and we're going to review a portion of the Boule Buffet Masters interview with Kamala. Oh, yeah, we're going to get all of this straight because, see, sometimes when things need to be broken down from the A road to the zero, you got to have the guy or the woman that's willing to not sugarcoat things and gloss over it and trying to do all the political correct stuff, okay? So that's not going to happen over here tonight. I'm going to tell you right now, if you were a secret Democrat lover or a Kamala fan, oh, you're going to get out of here tonight. You ain't going to ever come back. I promise you that. So I'm just letting y'all know, told the broadcast here tonight. Now, let me scroll up, read my esteemed guests, and make sure I can see the entire chat room. See the good brother Hot One in the building. Dr. Chanel Phillips is in here. Silla T is in here. I see Jason Ferreira in the house. Black Truth United is joining us. I see Mrs. L. Salute to you and your husband. Sister, I got that email. I'm going to definitely take my time and go through that. I'm definitely going to have to do a broadcast and break that down. Oh, yes. Thank you for sending me that, by the way. I see 225 Girl in here. Dad Miller TV2 is in the house. Let's see. Tanisha Murdoch is in the building. Derek Parker is joining us. Sidonian Snow is in here. Mac Maroon is in here. My good brother Lee Holmes in the building. I see D Shep is in here. Salute and welcome to all of you that are joining us and anybody else that be in attendance here tonight. All right. So before we get into serious business, gotta try to put a smile on y'all faces because look, this is probably gonna be the only time that the Democrat shields, if they listening, they might giggle a time or two after this, but boy, if they stick around for this broadcast tonight, I'm gonna pour some holy water of truth in them ears tonight, okay? We're gonna get a lot straightened out across the board. But before we do, since we're about to talk about everybody's favorite Skee Wee VP, we're going to hit y'all with this first sponsor tonight.
Let me tell you guys about I have a plan. I have an incredible plan to lower inflation. If you like me, inflation is gone.
Wow.
That's incredible.
It's true, I am.
Why can't you just do it now?
Next topic, the border.
If you like me, I've got a plan to stop all the border crossings.
Amazing!
What a leader!
Visionary!
Why can't you start on that now?
Next question. What do you plan to do about the war in Ukraine?
Oh, I'm gonna fix the war. The war's gotta be fixed.
Y'all wanna act like y'all want a part of it? We greased up each other. Especially you, Will. I had you shiny, boy. You too canny. Baby, all boys, but I guess y'all forgot. We ripped each other apart at my party. Say I'm lying. Baby, all this a rock and a little bit of Marvin Gaye make me feel like a man. Rose, you know you like Marvin Gaye. And not to mention you, Meek Mill. Trying to make it look like I'm the only one out here.
Rolling around with these bitches that don't even love me, they just want a part of my buzz. Tell my mama about it, but
well, I know y'all didn't think I was gonna let Diddler get out of there, right? Yeah, I had to throw him in there. But ladies and gentlemen, now that I put a smile on your faces, let me start out and ask, is everybody doing well? I hope you're doing well here to the start of your weekend. And we are right around the corner from November, and we will know exactly what's going to be the outcome of this election. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I am very proud of foundational Black American freedmen, men and women, and our own Code None FBA brothers and sisters that are not drinking the commandment Kool-Aid, okay, or as that ridiculous embarrassment to Black manhood, okay, malehood, should I say, Van the Crime Man Jones, Kamala, Mamala, whatever, man. Oh, you know what? That's a dude right there. Let me say it this way. That's one of them guys, man, that if he was standing next to any men that's actually worth the sack attached to us, if he said or did anything, he would probably just get the backhand real quick or something. I'm telling you, man, that irks me. But see, you know what? While I'm speaking on him, I understand why he does that, because see, I don't care who get mad at what I'm about to say. These bucks of Bedington and these wenches of Crafton, when they get over there with them folks, man, all the common sense and all the soul that's in a Black person gets sucked out of them. You know, Van Jones over there with his white women and stuff like that. So, but anyway, I digress. We're about to get down to business here tonight. Okay, with that being said, and I hope everybody is registered to vote in your state. Hoping that those of you with sense will vote against blue, no matter who you choose. Anybody but them, because if you don't exercise a different course of action, because yes, it is your voting rights, but you saw the outcome in 2020. All of the shield billies on riding with Biden, okay? Hey, they ran over there. We got to vote for them. Got to get Trump out. Okay, well, you ain't going to get something in exchange for it? No, we just got to get Trump out. Well, what about holding him accountable? We're going to hold him accountable after we put him in there. That's the dumbest shit ever when you say it like that. You hear how dumb that sounds? So they put him in there, true to fashion, okay? As soon as they got in there, boy, executive order signed left and right for every group, H and hate crime bills, bags for everybody except for the people that put they sorry, no good ass in office. But see, let me tell you something. You can't just blame them for that. You got to blame the fools, okay, the bisexuals that went and put them in there, okay? So now if you finna go and do the same thing, I mean, think about it. Not only should you have learned your lesson in 2020, you should have learned your lessons from the 8 years of Barack Obama practicing malevolent neglect towards the Black community. That didn't teach you nothing. The definition of insanity, you all know, is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So for those of you that don't like that, tell me where I'm wrong at. You can look, watch this. Let me give y'all something before we get cooking over here, because we're about to get started. Family, the next time you lower yourself, and I said lower, yes, I did, to have a conversation with a Democrat shillbilly, ask them this, okay? Name for me, during the time of the Biden-Harris administration, or take it on back to the Obama administration, name for me the tangible policies that the Black community, Black America, got on equal measure with all these other groups that we can clearly see and name. Ask them that question and see what they tell you. Because, see, speaking of Democrat shillbillies, Democrat lover, that's right, I gave him the name, Democrat lover, that's what the DL stands for. Democrat lover Hughley, he did some tweeting. You know, he does that a lot. And listen what he had to say here. We're going to prove this idiot wrong, boy. See, boy, it is one thing, man, to do whatever you need to do to get the bag. But when you just start becoming an outright liar for a bag, I'm going to tell you right now, your manhood card has been revoked. This idiot tweeted, Kamala Harris versus Fox News. She totally schooled Brett Baer during the interview. This is what this fool tweeted. Okay. That's what he's saying. Now, I want you to keep that in mind. Hold on. Let me show you, because I want you to see this is a real tweet from him. Okay. This is him when he tweeted this. October 16th this year, okay, 7:46 p.m. Family, you heard what he said. Bear that in mind because we're about to jump straight to that interview that he claimed that she schooled Brett Bear on. Let me tell you something, boy. You shillbillies, man, you are the lowest and most embarrassing form of malehood and femalehood. Because I can't call you men and women. Those are earned, honorable titles that must be retained with dignity and honor. You absolutely embarrassing. So, family, I want you to tell me if you think that she schooled him in this interview, because we're going to break this thing down like a fraction. And I'm telling you now, if you secret Democrat shillbilly team, if you a fan of the Skee Wee Skank like VP, you ain't gonna like me after tonight. I'm telling you right now. If you hadn't got the message yet, let me tell you something. Woo! And family, I just had to laugh thinking about it because I already know what I'm finna do. So without further ado, man, we're gonna get straight to breaking this down. For those of you that hadn't seen it, like I said, you're gonna be seeing it over here, and I will be stopping to give commentary when need be. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get into this lesson.
Madam Vice President, thank you for the time.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, Brett.
You know, voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Okay, now, before she demonstrates her ultimate bullshitter championship skills, because that's exactly what she is, the ultimate bullshitting champion, pay attention to that question he just asked this woman, okay? And look, I'm finna really make the shillbillies mad. As you all know, I'm neither liberal nor conservative. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm independent. But I will always give credit where credit is due when I see something that's right and something that's done the way it's supposed to be. I must commend Brett Bear for his interview skills because he did something few people ever do. He stopped her from doing that rope-a-dope bullshit exercise she like to pull whenever she's talking to somebody, and you're going to see him demonstrate that now. So keep in mind the question that he just asked her and listen to this response.
I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but do you, just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we...
You know what's funny about that? Boy, and I'm trying not to go in on her little shoe-faced ass. Family, she told Brett Bear, let's just get to the point. Bitch, that's what he did when he asked you the question. Yeah, I said bitch because it's ambidextrous. It goes for both genders. Both genders practice bitchcraft and bitchery, and this is a bitch, okay? A dumb one at that. Look, if you're going to be a bitch, don't be a dumb one. Pick a struggle, goddammit. But she's going to have the nerve to tell him, let's get straight to the point. That's what he was doing when he asked you a direct question. And see, I'm going to say this again. I'm probably one of the few people that'll say this directly to my people that's over here gathered here tonight, and anybody that catches on the playback. I want Black Americans, particularly of my lineage, foundational Black American freedmen, to be highly offended when you talking to politicians from either party, Democrat or Republican. When you ask a question and they start doing that sidestep, let me tell you something. This is something I'm trying to make sure that I press into the spirits and the minds of my people. When somebody does that to you, that is not respectful. That's disrespectful. So when somebody disrespects you, you are not obligated to respect them. When they start doing what she's about to do here, you immediately cut their ass off and let them know, listen, I asked you a direct question, and if the answer you're going to give me is not a direct answer to my question, have a nice day. Dude, you're not going to be allowed to waste my time because as I always teach y'all, time is the most precious, non-renewable asset that any of us have. Let's let it continue.
We have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, Included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizen.
Now, family, you see, I want you to count. I want you to count how many times that Brett Bear asked her a direct question and she don't answer that question at all. The question was, bitch, why did you not leave the Remain in Mexico policy in place? You and Jim Crow Joe Biden, the Biden-Harris administration. That was the goddamn question, okay? See, I don't have the patience for that kind of stupidity right there. I don't. But Brett Bear, being the professional that he is, he did an excellent job of holding her feet to the fire because, see, what you have to do with this heifer right here or anybody like her, any type of politician, because I'm speaking in a broad sense. She's just the example in front of us here tonight that we talking about. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to take it beyond politicians. You want to be a successful, effective person in life, especially when it comes to the area of business, don't tolerate this shit right here on this screen. You hear me? Take this and apply as a broad lesson to many things in your life. Because, see, I'm telling you right now, anybody that does that to you, like I said before, it's disrespectful. One is, and then second, it's a waste of your time. And then thirdly, a person like that, you don't need to have any dealings with them if it's in your power not to have any dealings with them, okay? There ain't nothing good gonna come of that. That is a lying, fork-tongued serpent. Anybody that practices this, okay? So now, watch the answer that she prepares to give this man, or the non-answer, should we say. Because, see, this is a lesson, and look, let me say this too before I let this play on. I'm going to tell you why I owe the Skee Wee VP a thank you. And I mentioned this in a previous broadcast. What you Democrats don't understand, the Biden-Harris administration doesn't understand, and the Democrat Party, you're training the most political savvy generation you will ever see in Gen Z. I know a lot of people like, how could you say that? I'm telling you, you think I'm wrong about that? Look at who it's affecting the most. They can't even afford to get a start with their own, place to live, starting out with an apartment or whatever. Just things are just too high. It's crushing their generation the most. Okay. So now when they hear people like this come before them and do this, let me tell you something. People say what they want about Gen Z. They know bullshit a mile away when they see it. Okay. I'm telling you, pressure creates diamonds. Mark my words. They're going to get active on a level that these people have never seen before, and they ain't gonna know what hit them. But see, never mind the outcome of this election. They better be worried about the future elections because, see, I'm going to tell you, if everything goes the way I've said that it's probably going to go and this heifer lose, Democrats, you are done in this country for a minute. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a while before you ever get back close to the presidency because, see, after it's over and she loses, one of the things I'm going to be pushing on my platform, and I'm definitely going to get a lot of you involved in that. We're going to start back doing our X Spaces very soon. One of the things I'm going to be pushing is this. But those of us that have common sense enough to recognize the abysmal failure and the betrayal of American citizens by the Biden-Harris administration, it's one thing when you get rid of the problem and solve it, but an intelligent group of people or person, the thing that you do next is say, okay, now that we've solved this problem, what can we put in place to make sure this never happens again? And I'm going to be blunt when I say this. Family, everything that we saw in the Biden-Harris administration, America as a whole, American citizens, especially my people, we must make sure that we do not participate in anything that leads to another administration doing this type of damage that they've done to this country. They've done economic damage. They've compromised the security of this nation at this border. And then the most egregious thing, we've got hurricane victims that have gone through Hurricane Helene and Milton, and then they turning around, putting them through red tape and giving them peanuts when they papering these migrants, these illegal aliens up off of our taxpayer dollars. Oh, hell no. So I'm going to let this continue, and we're going to further break this down.
Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the... Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please?
But
you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they didn't bring up that bill.
I'm in the middle of responding to the point you're raising, and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Now, family, you see this rope-a-dope bullshit tactic that she's using. It's not working on Brett Bear at all, man. He ain't going for it at all. Kudos to him and Fox News. I never thought I'd be saying that, but I have to give credit what credit is due. Family, let me tell you something. Be honest with you, Brett Bear really should have retorted and said, but Madam Vice President, you were appointed the border czar. And out of your own mouth, since you saying that, you know, hey, you bragging about your prosecutorial skills and all of that, why would you support anything that violates the laws of this sovereign nation? She see all this stuff she keep going on about. And yes, she gonna tell the lie about Donald Trump making this phone call. I'm gonna tell you why I say that's a lie in just a second. But like, if you really were for fixing this issue, because yes, we've had problems with this border for quite some time. But we've never seen anything like this where a motherfucker get in there and just throw the damn floodgates open. We've never seen that. So if you appointed border czar, or whether you weren't appointed border czar, you're a prosecutor, you all that stuff. And see, this is where you know this woman is an idiot. Everything that she's saying and validating here and running down, trying to brag about it, it makes you look bad. Because see, all you would have to do is ask her, okay, even if Joe Biden wanted to do it and you really had the integrity to stand up for the job, why weren't you speaking out against that? We should have seen you giving some type of pushback to the point that it caused such a stir that, hey, the American public would see, this is where you would have to give Kamala credit. If she did everything I just said and gave pushback, let's just say that was just Biden himself, and because it's the whole Democrat Party that want these illegal aliens over here to try to hurt black folks. We just got to be clear about that. But let's just say it was just Joe Biden by himself. I could respect Kamala Harris if she did what I just said and said, nah, I'm vice president, but I can't go along with this. I have a prosecutor's background. Okay, this is illegal. We breaking the laws of our country. Why are we removing stay in Mexico? She's not addressing any of that. Now, if she had done what I just said, you wouldn't hear me talking about her this way. Then I'm talking about the bitch because she's a threat to this damn nation and on the economic level and the security. Her and her senile ass, Jim Crow Joe, and he's sabotaging their ass left and right. And but see, let me go ahead and touch on the reason why I said that this whole thing she's going to get into about Trump made this mysterious phone call and told all these people not to vote for this bill, that they had this magic bill that's just going to seal up the border magically and throw all the illegal aliens back over there. I'm going to tell you why I call cap on that. The minute that he did that, they would have all been talking about if that man really did that. And see, that's another thing with Donald Trump. If you know somebody lying on you, don't let them just keep running with lies. You drill down on that shit publicly, especially if you're running for a political office and you make a fool out of them. Because see, the burden of proof is on now, like, prove that I said that. Because I say you can't prove that I said it because one, it didn't happen. And number two, I can prove what you did when you removed my Remain in Mexico policy. The whole American public can see that. Okay? See, let me tell you something, man. And I want young black men and women to listen to me before I let this play here. Lying is not a strength. It's a weakness, okay? Male or female, lying is not a strength. That plays into your opponent's hand because all you got to do is hit their ass with the truth. That's all you have to do. And there's multiple ways to do it. And then let me give you a further admonition, okay? Because this is a living example of what you're seeing on your screen here. If you're going to tell a lie and even be halfway successful with it, you have to have some measure of intelligence. You can't have an idiot and a liar in one package. The lies never make it out the gate. Don't believe me? Just watch.
The trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions, and they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue,
I hear you,
but actually is focused on fixing it.
Six Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the six Democrats.
Oh, boy, she wasn't expecting him to pull out them receipts. And salute to the good sister, nicest girl in here, my good sister V Moss. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Welcome to everybody that's joining us. She wasn't expecting him to pull out them high receipts. Let me tell y'all something, right? Because everybody's been asking the question, why in the hell would she take her ignorant, stupid ass on Fox News? I'm going to tell you why. Family, you got to study the Democrats. You know what? This applies to both political parties. Let me be very clear and fair on this. Both political parties, when they think they're up, they don't ever really venture into enemy territory. Now, this is where Trump will be the wild card. He's willing to go anywhere and stand his ground and speak to anybody. I will give him credit on that. A lot of people respect that, even if they don't like him, okay? Now, in her case, oh, boy, that's why she's been trolling Trump. And I'm saying trolling. He won't release his medical records, all on Twitter and all that, trying to bait him into a second debate. One of the most strategically brilliant things that campaign did was not put him in another debate because, number one, Trump could have did a lot better crushing her, but he'd be letting the trolling get to his ego. Okay, if he could ever master that, man, people like her would never stand a chance against him. But I digress. When you look at putting her up here, she's doing it because no matter how much the propaganda mill and the mainstream media lies to you, if you don't understand how they lie to you, check my last broadcast I just did, and you have MS and DNC, I'm going to call it that, being exposed by one of their own producers. But see, when you fabricate things that are not real, this is why lies don't help you. When you fabricate things that are not real, the truth is still out here in the real world. You can say whatever you want with all these millions and billions of dollars that you've collected and tell all the lies you want in a nice, neat package. But unfortunately, or fortunately, in our case, the American public understand what this economy is like. They see their insurance prices going up. They see going to the grocery stores a Neiman Marcus experience. They keep seeing all these illegal aliens just having a field day with our tax dollars, and they acting like drunk bastards in a strip club, just making it rain all over the place. But yet hurricane victims can't get anything, and they got to jump through hoops only to get $750? Really? Oh, they see all of this, Kamami. So this doesn't help you. You're desperate now because you see what the real world numbers are. And yeah, she's on course to lose. Oh, she is. I'm telling you, unless some ultra finesse is pulled, I just can't see her winning, man. I just can't. And then, see, Democrats, because I'm probably one of the only people that's going to say this. I'm going to tell you why I believe they put this woman up here, right? Because I'm one of the only people that's really went into this. I'm going to go back into it before I let it continue. Family, I keep telling y'all, you really don't understand how pissed off that white women are that this heifer here, this little Balto Wash Greens Hindu, made it to the vice president spot before her due to Joe Biden's punk weak ass because he figured he couldn't beat her in that primary. So you offered a little flatbacking bitch a vice president job. And knowing her in true opportunist fashion, she took that job after calling him all kinds of races and all that just went away all of a sudden. That should have been clue number one for you goofy bisexuals that you can't trust this damn serpent, okay? Never mind her history with downtown, low down Willie Brown. But then let's take it further, okay? Going back to these white women, because that's going to be the real difference making this election. Or they going to show you better than they can tell you. Even some of them that you swear is Kamala, or they going to quietly vote Trump. They're not going to let this woman make it to the presidency before them. Are you serious? Every one of you, no matter where you from in this country and America that have dealt with a Karen anywhere, you really think the Karen's on board with this? Oh, you got another thing coming. So now, my other theory is this, and I think I'm going to be proven right because I'm just looking at how they keep setting this airhead up to go out here. When you see this woman, when that teleprompter went down, y'all saw it because I played it for you. When that teleprompter went down and you still going to put her out there without her, you know, her little trained puppet master, Tim Waltz, and he's not much sharper than she is. He's a better speaker, but he's not too much brighter than he is with his lying ass. I believe the Democrats are putting her out there to get her ass out the way because, see, let me talk real about white supremacy for a minute. Joe Biden, 94 crime bill. Oh, he was a rock star in the Democrat Party and white supremacy in America as a whole for mass incarcerating Negroes, okay? Honored position. Hey, former Klansman Robert Byrd, rest in piss with his ass, was his mentor. So now where he showed signs of weakness is white supremacy don't believe in taking on its enemies and befriending them. When he made that choice to select her as his vice president running mate, there was, I know behind the scenes, Nancy Pelosi and them were like, what the fuck are you doing, you old senile bastard? Because, see, you got to understand, that office is symbolic. The only reason Barack Obama's little tan ass made it up there because he's really a white man with a tan. That's it. But see, when he chose her, they was like, oh, no, now how we going to get rid of this bitch? Because if something happened to you, she'll actually be president. So my theory is this. They putting her goofy ass out there because, family, let's ask the question. And I'm one of the only people that I've heard ask this. After she loses, it's a wrap. You can't go back to the Senate. Damn sure not going to go step back over to no situation over there in California being a prosecutor nowhere. It's over with. So they put her stupid ass out there to permanently get rid of her politically. Now, I know y'all saying that's some cold work, but you tell me if you think I'm wrong about that or not. Let's let it continue.
But more importantly, back to the original premise, Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well.
And let me pause this right here, being a Georgia resident myself. Let me tell you something, boy. Them folks was pissed about that Laken Riley thing. Let me tell you a couple of things that you're going to see good old white American Georgia voters co-sign down here, and I got to agree with them on this. They're going to get that damn sanctuary city shit out the way. It should be on every ballot in all 50 states. There shouldn't be no damn sanctuary cities. When they killed Laken Riley family, let me tell you something. You white folks were pissed about that. You hear me? I'm telling you right now. See, look, I'm going to be honest with you because, see, I live here. I'm going to tell you something a lot of y'all not from Georgia don't understand. After that shit went down, a lot of the migrants don't want to come here. You know why? Let me talk to you for a minute. These good old bubbas down here, they don't believe in waiting on law enforcement to do a damn thing. You hear me? See, when you start going after their women, and see, that's another thing, white supremacists, let me talk to you. This is another reason why it would behoove you not to go vote for Commandment if you're stupid enough to do it. Because, see, this is something they're going to have to deal with in their community and deal with their goofy-ass liberals. Boys, some of the most worthless beings on the planet are fucking liberals. I can't stand them. But, see, here's the reason why it would behoove you to tighten up on that problem. You thought that they was going to dump them all in our neighborhood and you was just going to carry on and everything be fine and everything just sabotage Black America. Oh, no. I've told you, as a very well-traveled man, I've broken down all types of history on this channel to back up what I'm saying. All you got to do is go down my archives. Let me tell you something. In these other countries, it's not just African and Caribbean nations. These nations down here south of the border, the Asians, they all fantasize about, particularly their men, they all fantasize about getting with white women. The white women in large majority, last time I checked, don't live in Black neighborhoods. So yeah, they coming to your neighborhood. Oh yeah, hey, y'all better get ready. All that smoke that you have for black people, we ain't running over there after you women like that. Most of us with sense don't want your damn women, okay? All of us ain't Van Jones. They want them though, and see, in conjunction with your women, and that means even violating them if they get a chance, in conjunction with your women, hey, this is a different breed of illegal alien. They know that the paper ain't in the black community. It's in your community. So now all that, you got to take the country back stuff. Oh, they putting you on Front Street now, boy. They taking over all kinds of apartment complexes. We gonna see what you made of now. You better get them white sheets and robes out and get to work. Let's let it continue.
Before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe
Brett,
those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that. There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together.
Madam Vice President.
Hey, boy, look, there was priceless how he let her get that bullshit out and he just looked down like, you know you full of shit, Madam Vice President. That was hilarious to me. But see, that bullshit she talking about right there, Black Americans with sense down here in Georgia and white folks. The answer from us, we're like, nah, bitch, if the border would have been closed in the first place, you left the stay in Mexico policy in place, most of this wouldn't be happening. If you didn't run around here flying them over here with that damn CBP1 app, most of this wouldn't be happening. That's what we talking about. We ain't trying to hear none of that bullshit that's coming out of our mouth. Red Bear ain't either. Let's let it continue.
Ensure that no future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President.
You right, you shoe-faced bitch. It was a solution. The solution was the stay in Mexico policy. The solution was, and this is on record, everything I'm saying, because you know the shield bitch, I knew it. He was a Trump supporter. No, I'm speaking facts that anybody can verify. I ain't throwing my weight behind either candidate. Listen, let me tell you something. All that shit she talking about, in conjunction with the stay in Mexico policy, Trump actually told them, okay, then when that first batch on bum rushed the border and got all over, he said, listen, man, he had them rounded up, detained. He said, Mexico, come on and take your people back, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we ain't taking them back. He said, oh, yeah, really? Cool, no problem. Let me go ahead and get the Secretary of Treasury over here. Hey, cut that funding off going down to Mexico. And they called him back and they got some act right and they took all them damn people back too. They damn sure did. The ones that they got caught, anyway and they were detained. Have they enacted any of this? See, everything I'm saying you can look up. People can try to pull her, you just don't like her because she's a woman. No, I don't like her because she's an ignorant bitch and she's a national security threat. Her and Jim Crow Joe Biden. If it was a competent woman up there, I don't care what race she was. Hey, especially if you're going to do for my community, I would be willing to hear you out. But this, no, not this one. So all this stuff she's sitting over saying, and look at her face. It looked like she probably hit the bottle a little bit before she got on it. This heifer always look drunk. She always do. But we're going to let Brett Barrett continue this surgery that he got going on here. Let's let it continue.
President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States. It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that.
Now, You heard Brett Bear ask this heifer, do you think you owe those people an apology that have lost loved ones? Because that woman they just showed, she's not the only one that doesn't happen to. And see, they're going to pay attention now because it's starting to hit white America. But see, let me talk to my people for a minute. Let me talk to Black American. I've said this before. I'm not the guy that sugarcoat shit. When it comes to the protection and the empowerment of my community, I don't give a damn who I offend on this microphone. You understand? I really don't. I'm going to underscore this again. I've done this in previous broadcasts, but I have to do it here tonight. Those of you that are Black parents, you saw what that woman was giving an account of what happened to her child. No parent should have to bury a child, okay? I'm telling you now, wherever you are in this country, if they in your neighborhood, watch your children. Do you understand me? I've already shown you their culture where a lot of them come from countries where that's what they do. They believe in violating women and children, and ain't nothing that's going to be done about it down there. So now that they just let them break the laws and come on up here, hey, it's a free fall. And they going after the white ones. I don't wish it on nobody, but that's what they're going after. Nonetheless, Black Americans, watch your kids. And I don't mean just small kids, okay? You better make sure you game your teenagers up about this. Sons and daughters. And see, this is the time, if there's Black fathers in the households, I'm pretty sure that all of you are going to agree with this. If they in your neighborhood, because see, a lot of people scared to talk like I'm talking. I'm not. I don't give a damn about that. The safety of my people is my primary concern. I don't hurt nobody's feelings. This is the time if you're a Black father and you got a teenage son, you need to sit him down if you hadn't already and give him that manhood conversation. Say, listen, son, I'm the breadwinner protector of this household, but you got a sister, your mother here. They over here in this neighborhood. You got to have my back on this. You got to make sure that they're ready to help you defend your household and your family. Because see, I'm going to tell you right now, it's only one solution. If you catch them anywhere around your kids, man, do what a parent is supposed to do. I'll leave it there. So let it continue.
That I am so sorry for her loss. I am so sorry for her loss. Sincerely. But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Family, let me tell you right now, and I can only speak for Georgia. Let me tell you, when white folks saw this shit right here, that answer that she gave right there, let me tell you something, man. Oh, no. In addition to Hurricane Helene devastating parts of middle and southeast Georgia here, this right here, they weren't feeling that. Know how I know? Know how I know? I have a conversation with one of the mailmen, white person, and they happened to bring it up. They said they're ready for this election to be over and kind of got into a little conversation about that. I just listened. I was just listening. I said, yep. And I was like, you know what? You got a point there. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to talk to them and get where they're coming from. Okay? It don't have to be a back and forth on that. I just like to listen to them when they choose to talk and see what they're really talking about. She in trouble in Georgia. You hear me? I'm telling you, Trump is going to take this state. And unless something underhanded is done, it's a wrap, man. Because, see, not only are the majority of white people going to not vote for Commandment, it's a lot more Black people than you think. That's going to be, either supporting the orange man or independent candidates. But one thing I do know they're not doing, most of them with sense, unless they tell us, they're not going to be voting for this woman. Did you hear how callous she sounded when he asked her that question? And then just change the subject. But let's talk about, and see, that's another thing I can't respect about this bitch, and I'm going to keep saying that tonight. But I can't respect about her or anybody. And I'll be saying this about a man that does this, because that definitely would be a bad look. Anytime they talk to her about a specific issue, she keep bringing up Trump when he don't have no part in the conversation. See, if you want the respect of somebody that's campaigning for the leadership of this nation or leadership in general and anything you do in your life, when somebody's talking to you about a problem, and I'm asking my chat room, audience participation time, very quickly, let me your opinion on this. Family, would you respect someone that's campaigning for your leadership if anytime you raised an issue or concern or a problem, they immediately, instead of talking about the solution to the problem, they point fingers in the other direction at the other person? When you ask them what are they gonna do about it, is there anybody in my chat room that would respect that? I'm gonna look in here, because see, I can be bothered to look in my chat room. I can't tell other people what to do. I look in mine. Is there anybody in here that will respect that type of person campaigning for your leadership in any different type of way? Okay? Is there anybody? You free to answer however you want. I'm not going to jump down nobody through. I want to see it. Bisexual, if you listen, don't be scared. Type it in here. Show yourself. I'm not going to say anything against you. I'm going to repeat the question for the bisexuals. If you, bisexuals, because I'm talking directly to them now, if there was someone campaigning for your leadership, you asked them about solving a problem and they deflected and started pointing at somebody else or their predecessor, would you respect that person and still give them your support as a leader? Let y'all continue to answer that as you will, and we're going to get back to it.
Let's talk about that as well.
But do you want to answer
in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration, even before. Let's all be honest about that.
I got to take the time to make sure that I point this out to my audience as well, because you know I'm one of the people that I always tell my audience to do this, especially the younger people that's listening. When he answered that question, one of the telltale signs of a liar when somebody, and I want you to keep this game with you all your life, if you're a young black person, you never heard this. When you're talking to somebody, make a habit, because there's truth to the old cliche saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. When somebody's talking to you, I'm going to tell you one simple way you know if they're being truthful with you or not. If any of you was to meet me in person and ask me a question about something, if I'm talking to you, I'm looking directly at you when I ask the question. My eyes are not darting around on the side of my head, nowhere me looking away from you, because that is a telltale sign of a pathological fucking liar. You hear me? This woman been doing this since her college years, okay? She is an old, seasoned, wrinkled-faced liar. Yes, she is, okay? I want you to see how many times she does that when this man started drilling her and she realized that she about to come out of her mouth with some bullshit. Let's let her continue.
I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist. They will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that that's going to get fixed, Brett. Well, that's how this system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90-plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because
what he just said can be looked up and verified by any one of you. He didn't exaggerate that. It was 90-plus policies. Go look it up for yourself. See, Democrats, oh boy, and I would have paid money to see her people squirming around back there in the background. Oh my God, I would have paid money to see that. But see, Democrats, let me tell you something. This is your last hurrah. Because see, in a way, as much damage as you've done to this country, this Biden-Harris administration and your party, because the other thing that I can't stand the damn Democrats for is you targeting these children with these sexual confusion agendas. But I owe you a thank you, because see, when you keep doing this to the American public and they can see you doing it, they reach a tolerance limit and say, never again. You're done. You're dooming yourself. It's almost as if they're trying to make sure that they don't win an election for the next 10, 12 election cycles. That's what it seems like they're trying to do here, because America is going to course correct on this. I'm telling you, when she loses, it's not going to be just, oh, thank God she's gone. Nope. I'm going to be one of the main people. I don't care who I'm talking to in my community, outside my community. We must make sure that this never happens again. An ultimate bullshitter, and you can say all the presidents were ultimate bullshitters, but one like this, at least they had some measure of intelligence. Look, I never thought I would be giving W. Jr. credit for sounding intelligent next to damn commandment. You can't have a bullshitter and an idiot combined in one in that office. She should, nobody like her. Nobody like her. I don't care what color you are, should never get that close to the presidency again and do this type of damage to this country. Let's let it continue.
There's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys...
Family, oh my God, do you hear this? And salute to the good sister Patricia Jenkins in the chat room. I see you, sister. Hey, you know when they got the nice, mild-mannered librarian, Patricia Jenkins, asking the question, why didn't that clown do something when she was in office for 4 years? And now, look, let me tell y'all something. Those of you that don't know Sister Patricia Jenkins, she is one of the most sweetest ladies you will ever meet. Very humble, respectful sister. She rarely ever criticizes anybody like that. Okay, so look, when you got the nice people just coming out and just saying what it is. But see, with Command Me up here on the screen, let me ask my audience another question. Did you hear that response she gave this man? The so-called borders are, I get it. To me, this woman's entire demeanor that has been on display, now I see why they had her stupid ass hid in the basement. Her entire demeanor, to me, has been the equivalent of a little toddler. I'm serious. I'm not even being facetious when I say that. Does anything about her behavior from what you witnessed, never mind me saying anything about her, throw my opinion completely to the side. Your own personal observation, the way she talks, all the things that you've seen since she's been out here campaigning, does that strike you as sane adult behavior? Let's just talk real. Come on now. Is there anybody in here that will put her in charge of anything? Watch this. I got something for you. Where my black parents at in here? Do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if you're a black parent. I want to see something real quick because I got a hell of a question for y'all. Oh, yeah. I'll wait till y'all respond. Where my black parents at? Throw me a thumbs up. I got a hell of a question for you. Let's see. This one right here, you got to personalize this for these people that sitting on me with this cape on for this shoe face heifer. Where my black parents at? Okay, looking in my chat room, I'm seeing a couple. Any more? Sound off. This is your time to be heard because I got a question for you. Go ahead and ask my question. For those of you that are black parents, if you had to choose a babysitter, oh yeah, I'm going here, your precious children, your legacy. If you had to choose a babysitter, would you choose her? Would you go hire this to babysit your kids? Keep in mind, she don't have any of her own. Doug Funny's children, that's his children from a previous marriage. Her womb has never produced a child, which is why, I'm going here, which is why she is so on board every time you turn around with her little barren womb ass trying to promote the deletion of children. Yeah, I went there. Something that has never produced a child has no organic connection to children. That's why she sounded that way when Brett Bear showed her about that woman speaking about the loss of a child. Is there anybody here who will let Commandment be your babysitter? Especially if you got a newborn, an infant. Would you, man? Woo-wee. If you would, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. You are all the way a couple of fries short of a Happy Meal. If anybody would say yes to that. What I'm seeing in my chat room, most of y'all got good sense, and you said no. Okay. So now, if you wouldn't let her watch your children, in comparison to that, the nation that we live in has value to us, especially those of us whose ancestors built this country. I have a vested interest in the security and economic prosperity of this nation, especially for my people. So that's why I couldn't feel comfortable putting someone with the minuscule, abysmal thinking ability of a damn toddler in charge of this country. Let's let it continue.
Down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said at 2019.
Do she really get it? I don't think she get it, because if you got it, you wouldn't have supported this damn open border policy. The minute that you found out about a CBP 1A, be like, hey, no, we can't do this. I am not on board with this. See, look, let me tell you I'm gonna watch this. I'm finna shout the shit out of all of y'all. Watch this. I'm gonna give you a way that right now, if she had did what I was saying and decided to run for president, she'd sweep and clean house, or at least get a majority more votes the legitimate way than she is now from being selected. Y'all want to know what that way is? Watch this. Ask yourself which you would respect more. Using the CBP One app as an example, let's just say she found out that Jim Crow Joe Biden, this is what he had going on, and she actually was a person that stood on some damn integrity. She has none, but hypothetically, if she had some integrity, she stood up and said, nope, I love this country. Okay, I immigrated here. I'm an American citizen. I can't do this to the American people that trust me to do my job. So I'm going to resign from the vice president spot, and I won't be a part of this. And I'm going to let everybody know what y'all doing over here. You got a damn application that fly these people over here from their country on our taxpayer dollars. They already here illegally crossing the border, and you going to give them a first-class flight on over here? See, if she would have stood up and did that, resign from that position, did on a press conference, and then turned around and ran for the president, now tell me if anybody in this chat room wouldn't respect that, huh? I want to know, would you or would you not respect that if she did what I just said? See what I'm saying? But see, it takes somebody with integrity to do that. And see, this opportunist would never walk away from that position. This means the world to her. She don't have any type of caring or concern for this country. Because remember, this right here is an East Indian Canadian. This is what she is. She grew up in Canada, okay? She don't have any ties to this damn nation or love for this nation like that. What she loves is what benefits her and puts her in a position of power, so to speak, huh? So I want you to let that question I just asked y'all marinate on your mind. Let's let it continue.
When you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
Oh, boy, look, you Democrats. And see, this is why I think I'm right about my secondary theory. They're trying to put her ass out here so they can get rid of her politically. Look, let me just go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. Both parties, Republicans and Democrats, if they have the option, they want that president and vice presidential spot to be as white as the driven snow. And I said it. Look, I'm just going to go ahead and call it what it is. She was not supposed to be there. There was not supposed to be another Barack Obama. Huh? It wasn't supposed to be another one. They see how useless his ass is. Wasn't supposed to be another one. But see, fam, you got to understand something. She's sitting up here babbling on and on about what she just said here. Brett Bear is killing her with these damn receipts. Heifer, if you really cared, you want to support it. None of the policies that put these things into place. She said that, okay, hey, that was 5 years ago. Okay, well, Miss Prosecutor, Miss High and Mighty, a law and order. If it was 5 years ago, your ass still come from a prosecutorial background. We know you can't stand not locking up black people. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to the question he asked her about allowing them coming over here, that was 5 years ago. No, bitch, you still the same motherfucker as you was 5 years ago. So now we supposed to all of a sudden believe that you just had this wonderful epiphany and now you're going to uphold law and order? You hadn't showed us yet. I can't tell. I'm sorry. I can't let nobody piss in my face and tell me it's yellow around. Let's let it continue.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law. So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
But the problem, you shoe-faced bag of dog shit, is when you let them over here, you broke federal law. These people are illegal fucking aliens. How are you going to turn around and see, this goes to show you how, look, let me tell y'all something, right? Brothers and sisters, this is why you don't deal with pathological liars, because a part of her to keep saying these lies like this, she has to believe this bullshit. A part of her really had, look, you cannot be an effective or a pathological liar if you don't believe the bullshit yourself. That makes no sense. How on one hand are you going to break federal law and then turn around and tell the American public that you're going to uphold it when we have 4 years here to see that you damn sure hadn't done none of that? You stripped the remaining Mexico policies out of place, and then along with 90 other executive orders that would have helped keep their ass off from over here, then we supposed to believe all of a sudden that you're going to turn around like, oh, and then the most damning answer. And that was 5 years ago. It was illegal 5 years ago too, bitch, and you supported it. Let's let it continue.
So decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
Oh my God, if I had a Pinocchio effects right now to make this motherfucker's nose grow, bitch, you did do it. You and Joe Biden. Flying them over here on the CBP1 app is against federal law. Letting them come over here and saying, hey, just turn yourself in at the border. That is against federal law. It is. They're not supposed to be here. When someone crosses into your country illegally, they're supposed to be detained, held at the border, processed through the system, sent their ass back across where they came from. Now, I already told y'all what my solution would be for that border. I'll say it again for anybody that hasn't heard it, because I'm probably one of the only people you ever hear say this. The entire southern border, entire with a capital E at the front and a capital E at the end of that word, entire southern border needs to be a 10-mile wide military base along the entire stretch, manned constantly with National Reserve and National Guard troops to back up the Border Patrol agents. That way, the only way your ass would cross into America, you would have to have help from the inside. That would shut this damn border crisis down. But see, what do I know? That's too much like right. Let it continue.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after people who present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
This is
my God, family. This right here was the ultimate dumpster fire for these fools. I understand being desperate. She should have picked another Shillbilly network to go on. She went on Fox News. What? See, this is what makes me know that I'm partially right, if not all the way right, about my theory of them wanting to get rid of her ass. Because see, her handlers, because she's not in charge of anything. This airhead isn't making any fucking decisions. She's not. Her handlers would have never let her go on here if they didn't want her to get out of the way. I'm telling you, look, let me tell you something, man. The next time y'all take a good long look at Nancy Pelosi's face, I want you, for those of you that have seen any of the original Star Wars movies, you remember the Emperor Palpatine? You remember him? Tell me if Nancy Pelosi don't look like that motherfucker, huh? You think Nancy, Emperor Palpatine Pelosi didn't want to get rid of this bitch? You think she's not the one that's really pulling the strings to get her on out the way? I'm telling you, man, they couldn't. They lost it. They're like, all right, Joe Biden is senile. We can't do nothing with him. We've been wanting your raggedy ass out the way. So just go ahead and put her out there. Just go ahead and select her. Think about it. What makes sense to you? They didn't want her there from a white supremacy standpoint. So the best way to put her out there, hey, she's our own worst enemy. A blithering airhead. Something that you had 4.5 years, the American public can see that you've done everything the opposite of what you say you against. Really, family? I'm telling y'all, man, I can't wait till November. Let's let it continue.
There's a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Now, family, before Brett Baird go in, I got to beat him to it. If your ass in prison, especially if you really guilty of what you did, you're not dared to play this fantasy game like they doing on the outside here about what gender you're going to choose to be. You better make it up. Whatever you're going to be in there, you better just pretend you're going to be that, because my taxpayer dollars shouldn't go for you to have no elective surgery. Look, that's the way I feel. Is there anybody in my audience that disagrees with that statement? Is there any one of you that thinks that your taxpayer dollars, the dollars that you work so hard for, no matter what your position, your job is, entrepreneur, the money that you work so hard for, is there anybody in my chat room that thinks that people that feel like there's some other gender should be paid for by you? Because see, for everybody that's in here, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have a problem with the LGBTQ community, but I think most of the people in here, y'all not confused about what gender you are. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the side of that birth. I don't care what these insane idiots try to tell you. I think most of you, since you are not confused on what gender you are, you shouldn't have to pay for somebody else that has that kind of confusion going on, especially if they owe a debt to society. How in the hell are you going to owe a debt to society and then have the people who you serving the debt to pay for you to have elective surgery? It's insane. These people have lost their mind. Salute to the good sister Black Mama for the cash out. Thank you very much, my sister. I hope everything's going well with you. That is a solid sister right there, y'all. She rarely, say too much over here, but that's a solid sister, man. I see her in all types of new Black media spaces. Big supporter of this platform and many others. Solid sister. But I just have to ask the question, man, because see, I'm going to tell you right now, this is where I stand on anything that's elective or any type of habit you got. Let me tell you something about your brother real quick. I'm the type of guy, if you see me out of the store somewhere and you the type of bum that's got a habit, whether it's alcohol, cigarette, whatever it is, and you ask me for some money to pay for your addiction when I don't have either of the two, I'm not giving you nothing. Because see, one thing about me, whatever I like to do, I'm going to pay for it myself. The audacity of that pisses me off. It's your habit. You support it. You want a cigarette, you want alcohol, whatever, you support that. So damn if I'm going to pay for somebody's elective surgery. And see, let me state something else. And I'm talking to all Americans when I say this. All Americans, especially you white folks. You ought to be on board with what I'm about to say next. One thing that needs to change in this country, the rules for Congress have to be completely overhauled. Let me tell you what my proposal is for that, because if I'm going to say something and complain about a problem, I damn sure will mention a solution. You all tell me what you think of this solution. Everybody gather here in my audience right now. I want you to give me a thumbs up if you agree that this is the way things should be as far as where our tax dollars go. We all understand that Congress controls the purse strings. That's very true. Okay, some of us don't need to take a civics class. We actually know how the government works for the Democrat shillbillies that say that. But see, I think that Congress should work this way. Yes, we have representatives that's supposed to represent the people. However, there should be an addendum to that. They don't represent us because these politicians have gone rogue in either party, especially in Congress. Before they are allowed to spend one dime of taxpayer dollars, I'm asking my audience, wouldn't you like this to be law? Shouldn't the law be just like they send us bills every month? Okay, because I know those of us who are grown adults that, take care of our own situation, just like they send us bills every month. Don't you think that they should send you some type of notification every month about, hey, we want to give excess amount of aid to Ukraine or whatever, and they should not be able to do a damn thing until we sign off on it and get that back to them. How many people would go for that? Want to ask a question real quick before I let it get back there. How many people would go for the idea I just put out there? Oh, yes, and definitely a hot one. They should definitely have term limits. But see, what I just said, just like they send bills every month, because I don't want to hear they can't do it. Yes, you can. Look, watch this. I'm gonna make it stick even better. Right now, we're witnessing it. Just like all of you are probably sick of them with them fucking robocalls. They got ads everywhere you turn around for these little campaign ads for either candidate. Well, I need you to aggravate me about spending my taxpayer dollars the same way. Because you can do it. You can contact people when you want to, okay? You definitely contact us for these bills every month. You can do that. So just like you can aggravate the shit out of people come campaign time. See, that's another thing too, family. In conjunction to the idea I just put out here, all of us in America need to hold them to that same standard of capability that they reach when they're trying to campaign. Because see, you see them the most when they campaign to get in office. Well, think about this. And I got to throw this out here to all Americans on the sound of my voice. Think about what America would be like if all of us set the standard where, okay, in order for you to get where you want to go and get our votes, we got to hold you to the same standard of effort like you do when you campaign while you in office. If you don't meet that standard, well, then you got to go. That's where I stand with it. Let's let it continue.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law. And it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available to on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign.
You're not in prison to be playing make-believe. You dare to do a sentence. There's no sane American that would support that unless they are part of that community. Let's let it continue.
Campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to take
during
responsible for what
his
happened
presidency.
in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his presidency.
Oh my God, the family. Look, I know I'm stopping this a lot, but I'm probably one of the few people that's going to do it this way. Did she just let that sentence come out of her mouth? Well, you got to take responsibility for what happened to your administration. Really, bitch? Did you really? Oh my God. Look, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. Whoever is her handlers, they're being punished because this will be a punishment for me. You could not put me in charge of something this damn stupid. All this stuff that the Biden-Harris administration is responsible for, and you chose that turn of phrase? Well, you got to take responsibility for what's in your administration. Really? Well, that applies double to the Biden-Harris administration. Boy, you cannot make this up. Let's let it continue.
So would you still advocate for using taxpayer dollars for gender reassignment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I think
say
Donald Trump would say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think it's real. He spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas, at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that, as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again, his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
on plans for the American people, I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing.
Family, you know it would have been a real gangster turn of phrase on Brett Bear's part, boy, that would have they probably would have killed the interview and she would have walked out. Family, can you imagine? And I know it's a terrible thing to politicize this, but it needs to be brought up because it's the truth, okay? Can you imagine if when she started babbling about what's important to the American people? Well, I would agree with her. I was like, you're right. We should prioritize what's important to the American people because right now in the state of Georgia and Florida, we have victims of a hurricane that's only getting $750. Man, let me tell you something, dude. If he would have threw that her way, I believe they would be like, oh, no, interview over, get her up out of here. How dare you throw that in her face? I'm telling you, man. That was a missed opportunity. I would have hit her with it. I damn sure would have. Let's let it continue.
I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy. I am offering a plan that is about taking care of young parents and giving them the support they need. My plans for the economy will
Wait a minute. How you going to be offering support to young parents when every time we turn around, you talking about reproductive justice, which there's no reproducing going on, so it's damn sure not justice to unalive a child that didn't ask to be here. How you gonna do both? Boy, this forked tongue heifer right here, boy.
Strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker, would ignite inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think?
Family, I want y'all to look at how weak this makes this shoe-faced bitch look. And I told you I'm going to use that word profusely over here tonight because that's what this is. Look, not just her, the entire Biden-Harris administration, they all a bunch of bitches. They practicing bitchery and bitchcraft on us. Thou shalt not practice foul bitchcraft on the American people. Dash holy water at all their ass and get them the fuck up out of here in November. Let me tell you something, man. I see the brother Black Dan Miller TV and said, hey, they would have went to a commercial break. Oh, man, hey. And then the brother said, this is the first white man I ever see her get an attitude with. Hey, I got to agree, brother. Look, man, you can't make this up. She's sitting here babbling and lying, and look at this look on her face, man. Is that not the look of a liar? Come on, man. And she's been doing this a long time. This is an old seasoned pro of a liar right here. Come on, man. Or the eyebrows all raised up and everything. Like, man. she better be glad that we have a patient God and Almighty, because boy, these lies, thou shalt not lie. That's a commandment. Or, I mean, I'm just saying, boy, she better be glad that we got a patient. But see, I'm gonna tell you something. We don't have to be that patient because we're not perfect like the Most High is. So we're going to be impatient and imperfect and get this hell up out of here. Those of us with sense, okay? We will not be supporting this. Family, this is what you want to put in office for you Biden sexuals. You really want to put this in office. You know this is a bad look. Every time somebody asks her about something, she deflecting to a man that's not even in office. You talk about a man that's no longer has presidential authority, as if he can just control all the strength. Look, this is what I said when they started doing that. If your administration is that damn weak that a man that no longer has presidential powers can just sabotage anything you do, you're not qualified to do the job. Move the fuck out the way and let him get back in there. Let's let it continue.
More people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you.
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as President of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said
you've done all that now in the last 3.5 years. We've never seen inflation like this during our lifetime, and not those in my generation, definitely not Gen Z. So we supposed to think that you're going to go from doing what you've been doing for these 3.5, 4 years here to just flip and turn around and, oh, I've got this wonderful economic plan that you could have already been implementing. If you were serious about doing that, you belong to your corporate paymasters, okay? That's who you belong to. That's why you did all this. Because, see, again, I'm one of the few people that will say it this way. But those of us that have been alive longer enough to know, especially those of us that, you know, we actually deal in the stock market and everything, own shares of things. This is manufactured. The reason these prices are going up like this is because they're looking out for their corporate buddies. That's what's going on. This isn't accidental. You know why? Because you would have seen it before now. It will be something that, look, let me make it make sense for the people that's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. If this was a natural organic occurrence in the economy, it would fluctuate and be like this with these exact same prices that we see now in these grocery stores and across insurance, everything that's going sky high. It would just come and go to the point and be like, yeah, this is what usually happens. It's come around again. No, man, we've never seen it this way. Like she said earlier, you got to take responsibility for what happens in your administration. Let it continue.
Turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week.
And by the way, how many of y'all are tired of that damn turn the page phrase? That boy, they just gave her a bunch of canned ham phrases. Turn the page. You can be unburdened by what has been. Just a bunch of stupid idiot babble. My God, boy, November can't get here fast enough.
What, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden? Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes in to office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership.
Boy, how many of you in my chat room believe that she's not going to continue Jim Crow Joe's way of doing business in America in the presidential office? How many of you believe that? Because, see, Kamami, And I pause it like this for a reason, to make her look like the idiot that she is. Kamami, the problem with what you just said, you remember myself and many others in New Black Media when she launched her website, her campaign website? Anybody remember what that website was looking like? It was blank for the longest time. No policies, nowhere to be found. Big ass donate button, but no policies. Then when she decided to put policies on there, she copied and pasted the policies from the damn Joe Biden website. Come on now. How many of y'all didn't see that? So now, if you're willing to copy and paste them policies from the website, well, bitch, how you going to tell the American public that you're going to be a different president than him? You don't have an original thought in that empty airhead of yours. Boy, I tell you the truth, man. America, you should be, look, let me tell you something, man. At this point, I get it. All politicians lie in both parties. But this kind of lying right here, playing in your face, this bitch should be punished without getting your vote just for playing in your face like that. Because, see, there's a penalty when you do that with me. Okay? I'm speaking for myself. You play in my face like this, there's going to be a penalty. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Let's let it continue.
For example, I'm someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing.
Salute to La Trivia Laws for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I want to hone in on what you just said there about I'm going to increase the houses that we have in America and bring down the cost of ownership. We know that you're doing that for this flood of illegal aliens that you're bringing over here. You're not fooling nobody, command me. You really not. And see, look, I'm going to tell you something, man. Just wait till them numbers come in after this election. Boy, we going to definitely go over that with a fine-tooth comb because, see, one thing that y'all going to learn after this election is over, when I call something, I'm not the guy that's got to sit here, I don't want to say nothing because I don't know. Nope. I'm going to call it down the middle. I'm not afraid to stand on what I'm saying. When them numbers come out, we going to revisit this and you're going to be like, damn, GBS, you called all this down the middle, especially with my state. Just you wait. For all these idiots that was running around, man, they flipped Georgia blue. Yeah, okay. Man, just wait till November. You're going to see. Let it continue.
Addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years. So what are you turning the page from?
Well,
oh my God. Look at his face when he look, you know what, man? The only way this could have been worse if they would have got the brother, Mr. Whitaker, from the CNN interview and teamed him up with Brett Baer, and they both been, man, she would have blew up on camera. Her head would have literally popped off her shoulders. Can you imagine? That's the only way this could have been worse. Look at the look he got. What are you turning the page from? Oh my God. Because see, we got asked the question. You got at what we turn the page from, because we definitely, America as a whole is not doing well right now on an economic level. There's individuals of us that are doing well, but the collective, no, you can look, let me tell you something, man. This economy right now and this border crisis that we got going on that they allowed, if this was your business or anything that you were trying to attain some type of accolades in, you couldn't call this a success. This is far from a success. This is a mess in this country because people have sold out the American public for illegal aliens, for corporate interests, and the number one goal above all of that is trying to harm Black America. White supremacists, let me tell you something. This is something we've been saying for years because a lot of white people out here crying about how hard it is now because they're not used to experiencing any hardship at the top of the economic food chain. When you call yourself trying to hurt Black America, that's just like the canary in the coal mine. Whatever happened to us, they eventually going to affect you with it because, see, they start out with us and then they perfect it and move the oppression right on over to your people, the ones of you that are not in the upper top 5 and 1%, white America. Maybe now this will wake you up. And see, I'm going to tell you right now, for the white folks, oh my God, black people was right. Don't run your ass over here. Don't come to me. We know we've been right. Ran your little alabaster ass over there in your community. You need to get busy. You need to make sure that you get your liberal problem under control and make sure that you do your part to make sure this don't happen again. We already know we was right. We don't need you coming over here validating nothing we said. We know. Let it continue.
First of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up.
You see what I'm saying about them little toddler phrases they've given her to throw out here? The strength of a leader is not based on who you beat down. It's based on who you lift up. Let me go ahead and tackle that load of bullshit that came out of her mouth right now. Let me tell you something, man. Sometimes a leader has to pull out the big stick and beat a whole lot of people down. That's not something that you exclude from leadership. And speaking like a damn toddler, she's basically trying to make herself a victim and play on these idiots that's like, oh, he's bullying me. Let me tell you something. If you don't have a strong leader that's like, hey, listen, I'm all for negotiation, but when negotiation fails, it's time to put a foot in your ass. Huh? That's the type of leader that you should want, because, see, you get one of these leaders that's talking this nonsense right here. Let me tell you something right now. Let's just go ahead and stop playing and take the kid gloves off. Right now, I want you to imagine Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, all watching this together, laughing, doing the Birdman hand rub like, oh, we gonna run over this bitch when she get in office. Can you imagine? This is an idiot that cannot think for herself when the damn teleprompter malfunctioned. Do you think she can run an economy? Do you think she can handle geopolitical affairs? Do you think she's going to actually improve the trade in this country that we all rely on to do business? Okay. Do you really think she can handle any of that without doing what they've done for the last 3.5 years? Hey, man, I told you, I don't sugarcoat over here. Let's let it continue.
Strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is
tell
about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they?
Family, you hear the question that he's asking? And see, this is something I want to teach my people. I've been saying it for years on this platform, especially when it comes to politics. Be the type of black person that's informed enough to talk policy and numbers. Make sure that if you go to a town hall, city council meeting, or if you happen to talk to either Republican or Democrat, hit these people with numbers. You got to show them that this foolishness that they parented to us with, bringing out people to twerk on stage, rappers, entertainers, talking about eating collard greens and all this other stupid stuff. And be like, hey, don't come talk to me like that. This ain't entertainment time. Politics is business. My vote is a business transaction. Now, if you want my vote, let's talk policy and numbers. He hit her with these numbers. Now, family, I don't know if you've had a good laugh if you missed the beginning of the show, because I put a couple of them in there, but boy, wait till you hear the answer that this jackass is about to give Brett Baer here. Because, see, he's asking this question, whether you like Fox News or the Republicans or not. The question he's asking is pertaining to every American citizen. Now, I want you to hear what the Skee Wee VP is about to tell him, and you tell me if this makes you confident that she's going to be a good leader for this country.
They're saying that if you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam Vice President.
You and I both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking
Holy shit! No. Did you hear what he said? I'm sorry, family. They don't know what you're talking about. She don't know what she's talking about either. and Donald Trump has been running for office. Okay, bitch. So what? He's running. You're in the office that he's running from as if you have no power. Oh my God, man. And then this little super villain, because Brett Bear damn near look like a little albino version of a damn Green Goblin. That priceless look on his face, man. And then with that white man frankness that he's giving her, no, I actually don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you have to laugh at the stupidity, even though it's a serious situation, family. Seriously, man. This heifer actually should have been said that. And Donald Trump has been running for office. Okay, what that got to do with you being in the office? The vice president is not the position of a fucking janitor in the White House. You have a say. You the tiebreaker in most of the major policy votes in the nation. Oh, but not according to the Democrat shillbillies. So for you shillbillies that tell us this, I got to hit you with one of your own lines. You need to take a civics class. Let's let it continue.
The thing about is that over the last decade, people have become, but listen, over the last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted with someone who professes to be a leader who spends full time demeaning and engaging in personal grievances. And
most Americans across this nation with a brain in their head that's not in the upper 1% and 5% would say that you and the Biden-Harris administration, because that's what you're part of, are dangerous to this economy and our national security, letting these illegal aliens here. They keep using that dangerous term. No, you dangerous to economic prosperity and the security and safety of our neighborhoods and our communities. That's what you dangerous to.
Being about him instead of the American people. People are tired of that.
If that's the case, why is half the country supporting him? Why is he beating you in a lot of swing states? Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening?
This is.
Oh my God. Oh, boy. Let me tell you something, man. If this was a boxing match, by this point, they would just throw in the damn towel. Look at this look of defeat, because she know what the truth is. No matter what bullshit she finna let fly out them lips, she know what the truth is. I'm telling you, man, it's game over. It's game over, you shillbillies. Do you hear me? I get it. It's been fun delivering to you in your little Democrat donkey, jackass fantasy world that you've been living in, but it's game over, I'm telling you. If you didn't watch the CNN interview with Mr. Whitaker there, it's definitely game over here. How it's not going to be game over? See, because whether you, again, I know that the Democrat shillbillies, the ones that was riding with Biden, okay, and they were voting for the Skee Wee VP, I know they're incapable of sitting their personal feelings to the side and looking at reality. But unfortunately, reality doesn't give a damn whether you do that or not. Reality remains. Reality is an absolute, okay? Don't care about none of our feelings at all. Reality is an absolute. Reality is this woman is not going to win. There's no way in hell she's going to win unless something is done like the last time. And I doubt they're going to be able to do that the same way. She's not going to win. The wild card were the hurricanes, especially down here in these swing states. Oh, boy, that talk about an October surprise. All right, let's let it continue.
An election for president of the United States, it's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald.
Oh, I ain't going to let her get away with that lie. Remember on previous broadcasts where I showed you where she was talking about particularly Gen Z, and they were asking her about that particular generation, and she said, well, we all know kids are stupid. Remember that? Teenagers are stupid. I'm sorry, I misquoted her. I don't want to lie on her because I don't want to practice that. She said, we all know teenagers are stupid. Y'all remember that clip? How many remember that? Boy, if I would have been thinking, I would have had that queued up here tonight, boy, because look, y'all know I've covered this. Teenagers are stupid. Talking about young people. So you would never call any, last time I checked, they're American citizens, but you did call them stupid. Boy, the lies, boy, look, I'm going to tell you, you know who she remind me of? Where my combat veterans in? Where my fellow combat vets, man? Especially those of you that were Desert Storm combat veterans. I got a question. Y'all know who she remind me of, family? How many of y'all, and a lot of you young people are going to have to look this guy up. You want to see something funny as hell? Look this guy up. Remember the guy over there in Iraq they called Baghdad Bob, that lying bastard? Huh? You remember him? Because see, look, let me go ahead and tell you, because now I can say this. Let me tell you what the deal was with Baghdad Bob. That was the guy that actually helped them get Saddam Hussein. Okay, they bought him off. And Saddam's stupid ass didn't figure it out. That's who helped set him up. That's why he was going out there doing all that lying. At the time, people didn't know that. You couldn't say nothing about it if you didn't know it. But now we can talk about it, okay? Baghdad Bob, that's the one he was like, when they was asking him about American forces and like, have you seen any? There's no troops for 100 miles. And then he pointed in the other direction when there's no troops at. If you look right behind him, you can see everybody lined up. This bitch is worse than Baghdad Bob. I'm telling you. If you don't know who he is, just type in Baghdad Bob. You're going to laugh your ass off when you see it. Let's let it continue.
Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about.
Oh my God, boy, the way they had this set up, look, I got to give Fox News credit. Mr. Whitaker did an excellent job on CNN, but it's like they engineered her destruction. You know what? I'm going to say something. I'm going to throw somebody. Salute to my good brother and fellow veteran, Kermit Wingfield. I know you remember Baghdad Bob, brother. That's a Desert Storm veteran. Salute to you, my brother. Man, I'm going to tell you a theory that I have. Y'all going to be like, boy, that's some cold work. The way they hitting her with this, if my theory is correct that Nancy Pelosi really want her out the way, and I suspect I'm right, I wouldn't be surprised if they called the producers of Fox. They were like, look, she's an idiot. We want her out of here. This is what y'all need to ask her. I wouldn't be surprised if they sent somebody to do that. Because you know the top people ain't going to do it. They have to have plausible deniability. But I wouldn't be surprised if they leaked, air quotes, some information over there. Like, yeah, this is how you get rid of her. Just go ahead and ask all of this. I'm just saying, family. It's a cold game, man. It's a cold game. But I want y'all to hear what the orange man has to say. Because, you know, she's sitting up there talking about him. And he's kind of like the candy man. You talk about the trumpet and he shall appear. Let's let it continue.
That they were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific.
The enemy within is you in this Biden-Harris administration. That's the enemy within. Look what you've done to this country. Watch this. Family, do you think that the Biden-Harris administration has been a friend or an enemy to this country when they giving all our tax dollars to Ukraine, illegal aliens, okay? Giving $750 to hurricane disaster survivors. I mean, look, everything, letting all these illegal aliens come over here in the first place. What has this administration done where you can point to and say, yeah, they really do love America. They putting Americans first. I can't tell they putting everybody first except for Americans from what I can see and from what you can see as well. Let's let it continue.
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy.
Did you see how she clenched them little stained teeth together? This is a democracy. No, bitch, it's not a democracy because you were selected over senile Jim Crow Joe. As senile as he was, he did get 14 million votes. How's it a democracy? And see, that's another funny thing. They keep talking about Trump is going to install a dictatorship. What the fuck do you call that? You goofy Biden sexuals that's sitting up here supporting this woman when she didn't even go through a primary. Selecting your candidates, do you understand if you let these people in either party get away with that, you'll never be able to choose a candidate again? Do you not understand that? And they talking about Trump and a dictatorship. You're looking at a dictatorship right now in front of your eyes. Let it continue.
The president of the United States in the United States of America should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump, you call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now he's unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not.
The economy and the security of this nation isn't stable either.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Family, did you see her mouth just hang open? No. Oh my God. Why did they put this woman on Fox News? I know I'm right. I'm telling you, they put her on here on purpose. They're trying to get rid of her. Her mouth just fell a little. Well, she good at leaving that mouth open, man. I'm just saying, we all know what that mouth do. Well, I don't know what it do, but plenty of people know what that mouth do. Listen, man, when he asked her that question, man, she was just stunned. And see, that's how you know that this woman isn't capable of thinking on her feet at all. Because she's look, let me just go ahead and give you some game. If you're going to be in charge of anything, especially want to be the president of the United States or CEO of a corporation, your own boss, whatever the case, if you in charge, one of the number one rules is never let them see you sweat. She visibly shows her discomfort on her face. Let me tell you something, with the job that she's campaigning for, there's going to be times where she's in conferences and in meetings where you can't show the enemy that you're distressed. She's not, look, man, as good a bullshit as she is, if you hit her with the right questions, boy, you get these types of reactions from her. You gonna tell me this is ready to be president? You done lost your damn mind. Let's let it continue.
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best.
No, the American people had a concern about Joe Biden senile ass because he was the current president. Well, he is the current president as of now. No, we had a concern about that. Look, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. When you have white America that usually stay on code with stuff like this, just coming out in the open and saying it, and I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans. See, look, that's one thing I will appreciate about Georgia. They're politically honest down here if they get to talking about it, all right? If you don't like it, don't come to the state. They're politically honest. They're going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Man, everybody was like, nah, man, but that first debate, the first debate between him and Trump, come on, man, even if you wanted to believe that Joe Biden was in his right frame of mind, never mind all the stuff you've seen before that just let you know that he wasn't altogether there. Mouth drooling open, turning around to shake imaginary people's hands, falling up and down stairs. Shout out to our good sister Vicky Diller for that. I'm just saying, man, when that debate happened, we all knew it was on. You couldn't hide it so bad that the shillbillies on CNN had to go ahead and throw his ass up under the bus. That man is gone. The only thing that he recognized will probably be some ice cream, because you know how much they say he loves ice cream, and I don't feel sorry for his ass. And I'm going to tell you why. Let other people feel sorry for him. Fuck him and everything he stand for and anybody else that did what they done to our people. You mass incarcerated my people like that, you getting what you deserve. This the ancestors getting their lick back as far as I'm concerned. I don't have no remorse for him. Let your wife have all the remorse for you. Let your little cokehead son have remorse for you. You did what you did to my people and you didn't offer to make it right. You can go to hell and with gasoline draws on as far as I'm concerned. Let's let it continue.
Including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
Now, family, for those of you that thought my little theory was wrong about, you know, the higher ups of the Democratic Party sending one of their flunkies over there to leak some information, does that not seem like a coordinated effort? Now, I get why they did it if I'm wrong about it, okay? I get why they did it because it was strategically brilliant, but Fox News and CNN, they don't really use each other's stuff like that to even to prove a point. They really don't. That's one of the first times I really ever seen that done in this context. Oh, but he pulled Mr. Whitaker out, and boy, did you see the look on her face. Shout out to Mr. Whitaker over there at CNN. Salute to you, brother. You need to come on the new black media. We look. We can get you all the bag you need. You need to come over and work for your people, man. Because that brother right there was on it. But see, listen, man. This right here, and this look on her face, and look at it like, you low down. That's how she looking at Brett Bear, like, you low down, dirty SOB you for doing that to me. Can you imagine if they spun that camera around? Because see, if Fox wanted to be petty, they should have spun the camera around to her damn handlers over there so they could see them panicking and lose their mind. Like, oh my God, they're killing her. Boy, I would have did it. I would have had, if I was a cameraman, I'd be like, oops. I would have hit that button real quick and pan the shot over there to them real quick just so you can see it. Oh, we needed that preserved and prosperity for all time. But see, right here with this look on her face, boy, just wait till y'all hear what she about to go next. Because, man, they hit no... See, this is the thing. You can't have an idiot running for any type of office because all their blunders are public, and all it takes is anybody with any type of intelligence to organize that together and wield that in your direction. Then you don't have the ability to think on your feet. We see that. So you don't even have the ability to course correct on the fly. That's necessary if you're going to be a politician. See, writing speeches, people writing speeches for you, teleprompters, just repeating what you heard other men in different political parties say, because that's what she does. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to help you. I told you it's game over. Let's let it continue.
Experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or...
I'm going to be honest with you. When he asked that question and she was like, well, because see, this lets you know her bullshit meter is running out of steam, okay? Brett Bear has worn the bullshit meter down. She needs to recharge. I'm going to tell you what I thought she was going to say when he asked that question. Y'all ready, family? I'm surprised she didn't pull out the classic line that I showed y'all. A friend in need is a friend indeed. I notice she ain't cackling now. Boy, that cackle goes away when you start asking some real questions, man. Let's let it continue.
Or in October, in the several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel. I was there, most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack, working.
Bitch, your Situation Room needs to be focused on the American people. We don't give two shits about that issue over there in that country. That is not America. See, you really don't have a leg to stand on after these hurricanes pass through here. You really don't. Do you understand how damn y'all don't understand? Down in the South, they are pissed at these motherfuckers. After what we just survived down here, ain't nobody trying to hear nothing about no other countries right now. That go to show you how tone deaf she is, though, because she don't live nowhere near no type of tragedy whatsoever. She can't relate to being a parent because she don't have no kids. She can't relate to an American citizen because she technically is an immigrant. You want to be honest about it. She didn't grow up here. She can't relate. This is why she have to fake and be phony with everything she do. But see, you're going to get what you deserve in November because you, Kamami, you told us we get what we vote for. Well, a lot of us have learned that lesson, and we're going to practice exactly what you told us to do. Let's let it continue.
With the heads of our military in doing what America must always do, to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend itself, and to give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that is, and my commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put Iran in check.
The estimates in billions.
It was during Donald Trump's
that
administration
go
that
the Iran regime
that we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches, not to mention how Donald Trump has treated and talked about America's military and military service people, calling them suckers and losers,
Hamas,
has diminished the significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
Well, I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me say something to all of America listening to this broadcast tonight. One of the rules of thumb that the American public must start enforcing in these elections here when it comes to the presidency or any office, even local, when you're running and the American public asks you about policies and issues and problems, and we want to know what your solution is, I'm going to tell you what should be the litmus test from now on. If they start talking about their opponent when you talking about them and asking them what are they going to do about something, let's be like, okay, I don't need to hear no more. I already made my decision. That's what it's going to be for me going forward, okay? I suggest all of you consider taking that under advisement, what I just said, because see, anytime there's somebody, that's all she keep doing. Trump, 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 Trump. Nobody's asking you about him. See, it would have looked far better if everything that he asked her, she would have took it head on. Okay, because she's good at taking things head on. We know that. But I digress. If she would have took those policies, those questions directly and gave him direct answers and said, okay, look, glad you asked me about that. This is what I intend to do when I become the president of the United States. And stop saying that day one crap, because you already had your day one. You had 4 years worth of day ones. You have. It would have looked far more better to the American public if you would have shown yourself to be a woman of integrity, but we know you're not that because past background and the husband that you married, he's not Doug Funny, he's not a man of integrity either, okay? So we're seeing it. And see, this proves true. The old phrase that all you have to do is give them more than enough rope and let them take care of themselves. That's exactly what she's doing here. Let's let it continue.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision
And there are critics
that they feel.
who look at what the administration.
You know what? Oh man, I gotta pause it. The sister V Mosby brought up an excellent point talking to the good brother Solo Dolo there. She says, I'm convinced that deep down she loves him the way she mentions him so much. You know what? And salute to my good brother, my fellow Georgia brother from another mother there, my Jamaican brother, Kid Gravity Beyond. Welcome, welcome. Y'all like politics, make sure you subscribe to that brother's channel. Put your channel in the chat room there, good brother. But family, V Mosby brought up an excellent point. The way she's obsessing over this man, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she lose and Trump turned around to be petty and said, hey, you want a cabinet spot? Now, of course, American people don't want her nowhere near anything with government. But if he was to do that, she'd jump right over there just like she did when Joe Biden offered her the VP spot because she's an opportunist and would have some type of bullshit excuse to try to spin it. Oh, man, I'm so glad you brought that up, sister. I have a brilliant audience. Let's let it continue.
Did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things
There's more to say. I have much more to say,
there are a lot of
actually.
things that people want to learn about you and your policies,
Yes.
and that's why we
I
invited
invite
you
everyone
here.
to go to KamalaHarris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do
And that's why
intend
we
to do to
invited you
strengthen our
here
economy,
to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
support America's military and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch
Comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And
Now, family, you heard her. I took that back to let you hear that for a reason, okay? She talking about the policies that she copied and pasted from Joe Biden's website. But see, man, look, let me tell y'all something, man. This crap right here, we got to go somewhere else with this because that was the end of the Fox News interview. I'm going to tell you what we're going to get into now, though. We're going to get into your boy, Roland Martin, Mr. Bring the Lunch. Oh, yeah, it's not Bring the Funk, it's Bring the Lunch. Oh, yeah, we got to bring the lunch, baby. We got to bring it. Because, yeah, you know, I told you, we got to get here and analyze a portion of this Boule Buffet Master interview. And before we go in there, yeah, I got to get my jokes off. I got to do it. Family, look at the size of this bastard's head. I got a question for my audience, okay? I got a question for my audience. Is it just me and my bias, or does Roland Martin's head get rounder and bigger every year? Is it? Because, and then I have to ask this question yet again. I've been trying to figure this out. Y'all gonna think I'm playing. I am deadly serious when I ask this question. How does this man hold his head up with no neck? There's none. You can't, I've never... Produce a picture of this man's neck. I want to see it. This is magic. I don't understand how this shit holds up on his shoulders. But listen, man, let me leave it alone. We got to get into bun head Roland Martin here. And you know, he finally, after all this time, they've been ignoring your ignorant ass. Let me say this before we start this. You have to be the most pathetic Boule Buffet Master Sandwich Sultan, last king of chicken wings on the damn planet, to sit here and be ignored by these people all this time. And now that she's desperate, her shoe-faced ass finally give you the interview you've been tap dancing for. Absolutely pathetic. But family, don't take it from me. We're going to let Boule Buffet Master here play this. We're going to play the audio because, you know, as much as I go on his ass, he would love to give me a strike. Eat your heart out, Roland. We know you're good at eating, okay? But you ain't going to be able to do nothing with this because I'm finna get on your ass. And pause, I don't mean in the way that you probably would like, okay? I'm only into women, okay? You got to pause when you say stuff like that to people like him, because we all know what he like to look at on his damn tablet. Let's let it continue.
Glad to have you here. Ready to bring the funk?
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Let's get right to it. So right before I walked out there, someone posted a clip, and usually the clip, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do anything specifically for African Americans. But folk don't talk about what you said right before when you said that public policy that benefits black folks, it benefits everybody else.
Right.
Even we look at historically, Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, it actually didn't just impact the African Americans, it impacted everyone else. But talk about that, because so many people have only clipped that one part without understanding the public policy implications.
That's too bad. That's too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Right. So you know that, I mean, going back even before, but Dr. King was very clear, right? If you have certain policies that recognize, one, that not everybody starts out on the same base. If you have public policy, and I'm talking about economic public policy specifically at this point, but if you have public policy that recognizes historical barriers, and what we need to do then to overcome, first speak truth about them and then overcome them, that in the process of doing that, not only are you directly dealing with the injustices and the legal and procedural barriers that have been focused on black folks, but by eliminating those barriers, everyone actually benefits, right? And
okay, let me stop her babble right there. Because we got two tethers up here, okay? A Haitian tether and an East Indian Canadian tether, okay? But see, since this disrespectful bag of dog shit, come at me, okay? 'Cause I'm not calling her mama or none of that. Since she had the nerve to evoke our ancestor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s name, bitch, you can't speak for him. We're going to let the good doctor speak for himself. And Commandment, since you claim to know so much about our ancestors, let's hear you talk like this. Let's let him speak for himself.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Now, family, I'm a Gen Xer, and out of the modern generation, we are the eldest. And I know we're getting up there in years, but correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Because, you know, as we get older, we need a little help sometimes. Correct me if I'm wrong. When our ancestor there, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was talking about our situation, I didn't hear him mention everybody then. When he said we're coming to get our check, he was talking about Black America. Now, did anybody hear anything different? Let me know, because I didn't. So since this tether wants to speak for him, nah. Over here, we let our ancestors speak for themselves, because see, that's the brilliant and beautiful thing about our lineage. Our ancestors speak long after they're gone. Their body of work, their character, the spirit of them stays behind. That's what gives us the strength we have to challenge this nonsense. And like I said, 2024, going back to what the brother Cat Williams said, this has been a beautiful time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to get back to this Tilda Babble, and we're going to finish cooking this bun head bastard and this shoe face bag of dog shit.
I know that to be true. So my policies include what I know is going to have a profound impact on Black folks around economic policy, but everyone will benefit from them. I intend to create, as president, what I have named an opportunity economy that taps into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people, and then addresses those in a way that recognizes, unlike my opponent, who was handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, not everyone has access.
Heifer, what Donald Trump do with his personal finances don't have a damn thing to do with the country. No, we talking about what you gonna do with the economy. Well, we see what you've been doing with the economy. You want us to all believe that you're going to magically flip the script and do something different. And see, boy, you talk about a male that has no integrity, like Roland Martin here, okay, Roland Martin, whatever name you want to give him. Look, the snack pound, like, y'all know I could be over here roasting his ass all night. You know what's really pathetic about this? When you bring somebody on, yes, as a professional, you be cordial to them and you ask professional questions. Because believe it or not, Brett Barrett wasn't rude to her. He was just asking real questions. How you know you a damn Democrat shield, though? You just sit there starstruck, quiet. Just let her babble bullshit. Don't push back on nothing. Don't ask any intelligent questions. Basically, this whole thing that we're about to review here, because we ain't gonna go through all of it. We're just going to go through this portion of it here. Everything you're about to hear, this pretty much is just like, hey, you've been handed the script. We know you're a big sassy fangirl, okay? So all you got to do is just keep from sweating bacon bits long enough and just let her babble her bullshit and just throw softball questions. Now, I want anybody to listen to this. Tell me if you can hear anything in this interview that's going to make me sound wrong with what I just said.
To those kinds of resources, but when you give people access to those resources, they thrive and we all benefit. Opportunity economy. That's why I say I'm going to make sure that we give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance. Because again, we know
that $25,000 down payment assistance, which it don't cost that much to put nothing down on their home, okay? Those of us who are homeowners know that. That's to convince them banks to let them damn immigrants, them illegal aliens, in the door because they don't really have no credit like that, as they ain't supposed to be here. So we know who that's for. And see, we caught her in a trick back language because she's saying first time. They must have told her to correct that because they listen to us. Remember in that whole so-called proposal, first generation homeowners was the language they were using. She switched it to first time homeowners. No, don't you ever forget that phrase, family. See, this is why I say it's a beautiful time to be alive because we teach you to scrutinize every single phrase. All the language has to be tight. And the minute that we catch something like, hey, whoa, what's this? First generation? You're not talking about those of us that's born here. You're talking about these illegal aliens. She thinks she's slick with that. But nah, unfortunately, there's a new black media that's going to hold your feet to the fire with this. Let it continue.
That when you look at the history of how Black folks have been denied the opportunity for home ownership, be it redlining or what we know has still been happening around a bias in home appraisals, that it is a barrier to achieving intergenerational success. But when we address it by doing things like helping folks get their foot in the door with a down payment assistance, they will have the ability to be on that track of intergenerational wealth building. My plan for extending and expanding the child tax credit, $6,000 for the first year of a child's life. Because our parents, just like any parent, have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources to do that.
You can't relate to that at all because you're neither a parent, and every time you turn around, you advocate for unaliving children in the womb. That's what you advocate for. Boy, this duplicitous two-faced serpent right here, boy, talking out both sides of her little wrinkled ass neck. And this little bun head bastard up here just eating it up, boy. Like I said, he loves to eat, boy. Little porky pig looking bastard. Let's let it continue.
So $6,000 in the first year of your child's life helps you buy that car seat or crib or the clothes that are necessary to build the foundation for that important phase of their development that gets them on the right track.
I do want to do the housing piece because what I think is not being talked about, the building of new housing stock.
Yes.
And so because of the home foreclosure crisis, we literally built under 9 or 10 million homes in 2010, 2020. We're underbuilt now as well. The fewest homes being built since the 1940s.
Yes.
So a huge part of this problem with housing is that we don't have the stock. So talk about that piece there because you got demand, but you don't actually have right now the available homes.
See this lying, no-neck bag of dog shit? Because, see, he runs around, little Boule bastard, always bragging about how smart he is with that big-ass head. And that's a damn shame to have a head that big and you don't have a thought in there close to anything coherent or intelligent. That's not the real issue with the homeowner problem. I'm going to give you two names and you do the research yourself. BlackRock and Blackstone. Buying up all the single-family homes and sitting on them just for rent and then raising the rent and prices of that. That's what your problem is in conjunction to that. So if you're going to talk about something, Roland, you tell everybody how smart you are. How about you address the whole issue? But see, you would actually have to have some type of real intelligence to say what I just said, because that's something that any one of you can verify in this country right now. Blackstone and BlackRock, okay, real estate companies, buying up all these single-family homes and sitting on them. Then when you add to the point that you're not building enough, okay? Oh, but no, you know, like I said, if it's not something at a buffet line or a restaurant menu or whatever, he wouldn't know anything about that. Let's let it continue.
So, and I'm glad you actually presented the point the way you did, because let's also go back to what you know in my history on this in terms of being Attorney General.
And that's another one too. Project Leroy brought up Berkshire Hathaway. That's definitely another one, man. I'm glad you pointed it out, my brother.
When I took on the big banks, and because they were doing predatory lending, and a lot of the folks who were targeted with that predatory lending were black folks who were being told, oh, you don't need to worry about it. We're going to give you this money. And so you can buy a home without actually doing the analysis to figure out if they'd be able to afford to pay it back, right? And folks trusted the banks that if you're going to loan me the money, then you must have determined I have the ability to actually, right, be able to see it through. And the foreclosure rates for black homeowners during that crisis,
53% of black wealth wiped out.
That's exactly right, Roland. I took on and sued the big banks and ended up delivering $20 billion for the homeowners of California. The former President Obama recently mentioned the fact that I actually took.
Where my California people at? Where my California people at? California, one of the most expensive real estate markets in the country next to New York and Miami. My California homeowners, because you all know the price of even small 2-bedroom homes out there, $1 million, okay? Did you see any benefit to what she just talking about? She delivered these $20 billion. Did that help y'all housing market out there? Because I don't live in California. Been out there, nice place. Love my brothers and sisters out there. Wouldn't want to live there. I got too many earthquakes shit going on, okay? I'm asking the question, though. My California residents, are y'all feeling the wonderful effects of the $20 billion that Commandment said that she sued the banks for and injected it to y'all market there? I just want to know, is that helping y'all? Because, you know, hey, I need to leave it to people that actually live there to speak on that. It's one thing to visit somewhere. It's another when you live there. So my California people, look in the chat room. Is it helping y'all? Where my folks at? Oh, I'm seeing a no. Anybody else? Cali people sound off, man, because, you know, the way she's talking, yeah, like she did y'all a big favor. And so, like I always say, if somebody does something that's so great and so wonderful policy-wise for you, no matter what political party they're in, you know what the secret is? They don't have to tell you about it. It will be self-evident. It will be self-evident. So if you got to tell us about it, chances are what you didn't do too much. So let it continue.
Look on the Department of Justice and the administration saying, I'm not going to do a deal that brings crumbs to the table.
But not just when you're Attorney General, because even right now, the DOJ, Civil Rights Division, the redlining lawsuits, mortgage discrimination.
We have been taking all of it on. Mortgage discrimination, also discrimination in home appraisals. We've taken on the fact that, you know, those stories about a black family is trying to get their home appraised. They want to get a second mortgage. They want to sell the house, whatever. And they bring in the appraiser. The appraiser looks around, looks at the family pictures, and appraises it for less than it's worth. The family knows that. They're not stupid.
The black folks got to.
That goes to show you she's been listening to New Black Media Space. Her people have anyway, because who's been talking about that? She wasn't talking about that at any point in time during that administration. See, they pick up on our exact phrase. I keep telling y'all, it doesn't matter the size of our channels. They pick up everything that we be saying. They be in these X spaces that we're in. She wasn't mentioning nothing about that situation because that's not something she can relate to. And I'm going to say it. You're not a black woman. You're a full-blooded East Indian, okay? That's what you are. East Indian Canadian. That's what you are, okay? You can't relate to that. So I know that one of your little campaign staff told you to say that to this bun head bastard. Hell, he probably slid it to you. Because believe it or not, his big bowling ball head is over there in our spaces too. That's a conversation for another day. Let's let it continue.
Photos,
so
books,
then they
DVDs,
remove photos and everything else, right? They remove
all the blackness,
all of that, and then they ask a white family that's a friend of theirs come in. They put up their pictures, and the house gets appraised for more. Racial bias. We're taking that on for the first time, and I want to give due credit to former Secretary of HUD Marcia Fudge for being a leader on that. These are the things we've taken on, and as president, to your point about supply. I'm going to create tax incentives for home builders and developers to build 3 million new housing units by the end of my first term, because a big part of jacking up the prices has been the supply is not meeting demand, so the prices are higher. And when you couple that with $25,000 down payment assistance, we have the ability to give people the opportunity to achieve what generations before called the American dream, but which has been out of reach for too many people. My work around thinking about how it's going to directly impact Black folks is knowing that when you look at racial bias in home appraisals, when you look at the disproportionate rates of Black home ownership to other people having home ownership, it's too low. And it's not because we don't aspire to have a home or buy a home.
Now, family, you heard all that Kamala Babble coming out her little tub wash green's mouth. How you go on the one hand say what she just said, and then before all of this, because now that you're running for office, you're talking like this, but she told us, and this is the one thing I actually do respect her for. We all know the line. Hold on, let me put on my forked tongue voice. And I'm not gonna do something else for Black people. Yeah. That's what she told us, right? So what she's talking about is something that would benefit only Black people. You're talking about Black people there. Oh, now she can say Black all of a sudden, huh? But you notice that during the early stages of her campaign, she didn't want to mention anything about Black. Hell, you had people telling you that you weren't Black because you're not. You didn't say nothing about that then. Now that it's down to the wire, now you know how to say the word Black, huh? Well, it's too little too late. You've sank your own ship with everything that you've been doing, and I'm so glad that your handler just let you get out here and make a jackass out yourself, because the American public needs to see just how much of an idiot this woman is. Let's let it continue.
My work is about looking at small businesses, knowing they're the backbone of our economy in the neighborhood, in communities, and giving folks an extension of a tax deduction. So it's not just $5,000 for a startup small business, but $50,000, because nobody can start up a small business on $5,000.
How about you give a $50,000 grant? Just like, kind of like you're doing with these illegal aliens, because you're giving them grants left, right, and center. That's what you may as well call it. But they don't have to pay that back. How you gonna think about it, family? Every American listening to me should be insulted by this. Is this woman and this Biden-Harris administration gonna let illegal aliens come over here and give them our money for free? But you turn to the citizens that put the money in the country and tell us, you're only good enough to get a loan. That's if you jump through enough red tape to get it. Even if you're a disaster survivor. Let's let it continue.
You mentioned small business. I was talking to a Black restaurant owner in Houston, and we were talking about the corporate tax rate. Yeah. And one of the things that he said was, he said, listen, I'm looking at her proposal. I'm looking at what was the place beforehand. He said, because when it got cut, it puts $500,000 in my pocket. Yeah. When I was in Georgia, Senator Warnock's campaign in 2022, a Black woman said, hey, she said, I get reproductive rights. She said, I'm not having any kids, but I do care about taxes. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I'm hearing from a number of African-American business owners who are saying, okay, let
me tell you something right now. Most Black women in Georgia, they're not talking about nothing with that so-called reproductive justice that they keep talking about. No, they're not. I live here. I know. You don't hear no Black women down here with no sense running around talking about that. You don't. What the issue they are talking about? Recovering from this hurricane, making sure that they can keep a roof over their head, making sure that when they go into the grocery store, they're not having the Neiman Marcus experience, okay? Making sure that this insurance, that they paying on everything they got, car note, health insurance, homeowners insurance, all that don't continue to just go sky high for no reason. They're concerned about their rent for those that are renting and not homeowners. That's everything I'm hearing is about economics and border security. And it's even amplified down here now, at least around the people I'm around. Let's let it continue.
Will Vice President, if she's president, deal with corporate tax rate? And so you talked about increasing it. Will that mean a certain cap? So let's say if you 50 million, 100 million revenue or less, will that go up? Or will that corporate tax rate apply to all businesses?
So first of all, the corporate tax rate, years ago it was in the 30s. So I'm not doing that. But in terms of tax cuts for middle-class families, my agenda is all about tax cuts for middle-class families and no tax rate hike for anybody making less than $400,000 a year. But my approach is also about giving 100 million Americans a tax cut in terms of middle-class tax cuts. Donald Trump, on the other hand, first of all, like he did before, he will do again and has pretty much pledged that he will give a tax cut for billionaires and the biggest corporations. Donald Trump has indicated that basically what I call a Trump sales tax will be in place, which is a 20% tax on everyday goods and services, which economists have estimated will cost the average American family $4,000 more a year.
Did you hear her? Boy, that Trump gonna do that. Everything that's going on with this inflation right now applies to everything that you just said. It's almost as if this idiot of a woman, and I use that term loosely because she doesn't deserve to be called that. And yes, I said that. I meant that. That's an earned, honorable title. This fool is sitting up here talking like the American public can't understand what's going on in the economy right now. Like they're not experiencing the hardship that this administration caused. Because see, whether they like it or not, people remember what the prices were under Trump, and they see what the prices are in that short window of time. And see, you think about this. In 3.5, 4 years, whatever you want to call it, you may as well say 4. That short window of time, look at how these prices just ballooned. And she keep talking about Trump this, Trump that. No, nobody was paying them prices under Trump. They wasn't. Gas and everything and whatnot. Look, you shut down the Keystone Pipeline. That contributed to us going back to being energy dependent instead of energy independent. And you know that means paying higher prices. People haven't forgot this stupidity. But this bun-head idiot up here, he just sitting up here just amen and everything he's saying because, see, the only thing he cares about is getting credit for having interviewed her and all of that. And I'm like, Roland, what you gonna do when she lose, man? All of you Democrat shillbillies, what y'all gonna do? The writing is on the wall. It's over. I'm telling you, it's game over.
Goldman Sachs.
Including the small businesses.
Of course,
Yeah.
including small businesses. Not to mention what he is doing. If you look at Project 2025, what they're proposing in terms of cutting off.
Let's talk about Project 2025, because, you know, that's the boogeyman they use to scare ignorant Negroes that don't realize that Trump don't have nothing to do with no Project 2025. They keep telling that lie over and over and over and over again. And see, that's how you know Trump don't have the right campaign managers, because, see, that could be used against them. That can be disproven very easily. But see, what you won't talk about the Heritage Foundation that actually owns and endorses Project 2025 and authored it, they've endorsed you. Oh, yes, there's some of the people have endorsed Kamala. They ain't talking about that. Oh, verify what I'm saying if you didn't know that. Yes, the Heritage Foundation, some of their people, more than one, has endorsed her. Let me tell you something. You know why they're doing that, family? See, let's talk real. White supremacy only cares about what harms black people. So they're looking at the two and they're saying, you know what? Yeah, we would like Trump, but you're doing a heck of a job fucking up black America right now. Go ahead and give this endorsement real quick. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. You tell me if I'm not making sense when I said that. Look at the track record they got. Hey, her and Jim Crow Joe Biden combined, boy, they've done a hell of a job on black America. Mass incarceration, deflating the economy. Y'all already know what I told you. The acronyms for Biden: beyond incompetent, destroying economics nationwide. Kamala, keeping all migrants above laboring Americans. Those are the acronyms that you use for them too. And they're standing by it. Prove me wrong. Let it continue.
For example, we see Hurricane Helene, what we have seen happen in terms of Milton, cutting off the SBA ability to give small businesses that have experienced an extreme weather event, a disaster, giving them additional resources. This man don't want to help small businesses. He cares about.
She had the nerve to say that after you jumped your big, goofy, cackling ass up on national TV and told people down here that experienced these hurricanes that they would only get $750. I'm going to tell you, whatever industrial strength cocaine and crack that she's snorting, you know what, family, you know what I think it is? I believe Kamala, you know what I'm saying? Because see, maybe we kind of misjudged her. I believe Kamala You know, she probably is somewhat of a hip hop fan, and she probably be on that lean, man. I think that's what it gotta be, man. Come on, man. Look, if you see her with a styrofoam cup, hey, listen, I'm just saying, man, we got to wonder what's in that damn cup. Let's let it continue.
The kinds of people who run the businesses he runs, big developers, billionaires. He's not looking out for middle class folks. You look at what he is proposing in terms of cutting, if you look at the cost that middle class families bear, healthcare costs. We have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. Under Project 2025, they would undo that $35 cap. You look at what he is planning to do that is about.
Boy, there's a fear mongering for that boomer generation. But see, let me tell you something, how you know that this is an airhead speaking here. They keep talking about prescription drugs, this, that, and the third. Listen, for the people that need that, yes, that's a concern for them, but that's not your biggest voter block. Now, I'm not saying that you don't do anything for them. Yeah, you do whatever you need to do to make that affordable for them, but that's not your main voter block. So using that scare tactic on them as if they gonna keep you in power, nope, that's not gonna work. They leaving here every 2 years. They are. So that scare tactic to just keep them in place with that, because that's all you got to do with them. Just prescription drugs, and Project 25, and boy, the ones that are gullible enough, they go for that. Well, Commandment, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to save you. It's crash and burn time. Let's let it continue.
Getting rid of the Department of Education and Head Start programs. Who do you think that's going to affect? So there is, first of all, a danger in terms of understanding. There are two choices in this election, and understanding what Donald Trump intends for middle-class families. Two, look at it in the context of how he actually thinks and talks about black folks in America. And you and I have talked about this before. He is not looking out for folks when he was a landlord and would not rent to black.
Do you hear how far back she got to reach to just sit here talking about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump? At some point, look, listen. I could almost give any political opponent a pass if your opponent is steady talking about you like that. But if you're not being addressed, and then look, let's go here. Even if your political opponent is mentioning you like that, I'm going to tell you the stronger candidate will be the one that never talks about them and only talk about what they intend to do to help the country if they got elected to the office of president. That's what would be a better look. But see, for you goofies that allow her to come on the Shade Room, man, any of these platforms you going on the little white folks podcast, the Turbo Thoughts over there, going on their podcast. Yes, I saw that goofiness. Okay. Going on the Breakfast Club. And boy, you know, Roland Martin, man, you know, he should stay in a damn Breakfast Club. But you keep letting her get on there and spit all this babble with no pushback. It's making her look bad. I'm going to tell you, when this is all said and done and it go exactly how I said it's going to go when she lose, this is going to be textbook on how to study how not to run a political campaign. Let's let it continue.
Black families sued for it when he took out a full-page ad in the New York Times against those 5 teenagers, black and Latino, who were innocent, saying they should be executed.
By the way, they keep leaving out that it was a Democratic prosecutor. Trump was a Democrat at the time when he took that ad out, but that ad did not lock them up. It was the Democrats that did it. Why don't we talk about that? If you're going to keep trying to use that as a political football, why don't you tell the whole story? Because see, all the people got to do is just go and see who was responsible for locking them up. A private citizen can take out whatever ad they want. But see, I'm going to tell you what would have been brilliant on Trump's part if he'd had the sense to do it, because you know the orange man ain't wrapped too tight with that little Trump hair up top of his head. If he would have came out and took that head on and said, you know what? I made a risky judgment when I said that. And, you know, I was wrong for doing that. And that's something I learned from. I'm never going to do that again. In fact, the business, I even came up with the First Step Act to make amends for that. See, if he had the right people that would tell him what to say, when they keep throwing them things at him like that, that would have sank that whole thing. It would have been nothing you could say. Because whether you like it or not, I hadn't seen a version of the First Step Back from the damn Democrats. I hadn't seen that at all. So let it continue.
The Central Park 5. When you look at the first president of the States, and he had their lines, and now you look at black immigrants, legal immigrants, and And he gets on a debate stage and says they're dangerous. Not to mention, Roland, let's fast forward to right now. His staff won't let him do a 60 Minutes interview. Every president for the last half century has done one, anyone who's running for president. Everyone has done it, except Donald Trump.
Here's the thing, Kamami. He don't need to do no more interviews. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of people are like, well, yeah, she got a point. He won't do a 60 Minutes interview. I'm going to tell you why he don't have to do one. The way he's been out here on this campaign trail and actually talking to people and taking questions, you know what I'm saying, from folks without babbling. The one thing I'll give him, you ask him a direct question most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, he'll give you a direct answer with what you're talking about. With you, oh boy, you put your little clown dancing shoes, she put her Chuck Taylor dancing shoes on, you know what I'm saying, get her a can of the Tub Wash Greens, like pop out of Sailor Man and pop that open and get the lying and babbling all over the place and cackling. Okay, but she wasn't cackling when Brett Baer and Mr. Whitaker was talking to her ass. I didn't see not one smile, boy. That's how you stop that goddamn cackle. Put the truth in front of her ass. She ran from the damn truth like a damn vampire from sunlight. See, when you got that kind of truth in front of her face, then the true commandment come out, okay? So yeah, like I said, man, you Democrat shillbillies, you can lie all you want. November's right around the corner, and the truth is gonna shine. And then once it's over, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think you hate me now over here on this microphone, I got something special for y'all. Oh boy, you better hope they try to figure out a new finesse and get her ass in office, because when she lose, woo, you might want to deport yourself from out of here, because I'm gonna be on your neck like Dracula. Let it continue.
Not debate me again. I put out my medical records. He won't put out his medical records. And you have to ask, why is his staff doing that? And it may be because they think he's just not ready and unfit and unstable and should not have that level of transparency for the American people. There's a real choice in this election.
You mentioned the Department of Education. I was on a call a couple weeks ago, Jeffrey Canada, Steve Perry, Jalen Rose, and others. Who are supporters of school choice, parental choice. Yeah. And what they've complained about is that you haven't heard a lot about education in the last several months. And they were talking about these educational outcomes of African Americans post-COVID. Yeah. And they said the numbers are depressing. Yeah, it's bad. In terms of your focus with education, one, do you support public charters? Do you support how do we deal with those numbers? Because at the end of the day, if our kids are staying behind, that's just going to make it even more difficult for them when it comes to getting jobs. That education plan for America, if you're president.
You know what America is really concerned about, Roland? You bowling ball head before you. America is concerned about the education in public schools as far as pushing sexual confusion on these children. That's what the Democratic agenda is doing. There's no reason that you need nobody that feels like a woman or whatever coming to read to little kids, especially little kids below 5th grade level and all of that. That's not a part of educating them. How does that help them read better? You know what the other thing that people are concerned about in these schools, these public schools? They're concerned about little Connor and Tiffany coming to school to air out the place. That's what they're concerned about, but you're not going to ask that question though, huh? To continue.
Yeah, so I have supported public charters, but here's the thing that we have to just focus on in this election. First of all, Donald Trump would get rid of the Department of Education, which means that as a vehicle for funding a lot of what we need to do around public education for our children, it would be get rid of Head Start. And we know how many of our children have benefited from that in the earliest stages of their development, which are the most critical to them.
You don't know anything about the earliest stages of a child's development, and I'm going to keep pointing that out.
Being able to be successful as they go through the educational process. So there is a huge contrast between me and him. And frankly, I don't think he wants to talk about education, which is why it has not become an issue on the debate stage, because he doesn't have a plan. Which takes me back to a fundamental point. He doesn't have a plan for much of anything that is about the people who are going to be watching this interview.
Here's the problem with that. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. Well, the problem with that is the man was in office And people remember what the country was like. And like it or not, or whatever you want to call it, that was a plan that was in action. And it was working for Americans. Let me tell you something right now. Even people that didn't like the Orange Man, especially if you was a business owner, y'all know what I mean, my fellow business owners. Listen, hey, you know did you enjoy that time period, okay? Now, my question is this, taking the personal feelings out of it. Would you, as a business owner, rather have that economy when he was in office or the economy that we in right now under the Biden-Harris administration? Let that roll around and answer that question for yourselves. Let it continue.
Everyone always and again watch his rallies. He will talk full-time about himself. He will talk about his personal grievances, and he will not talk about you and any plan that he has for you or your children or your future.
How does it make you feel when he trashes black cities? So in 2020, he talked about voting in Fulton County, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit. There was a partial recount of Wisconsin, only in Milwaukee. The comments that he just made about Detroit basically being a living hell.
Oakland, D.C., Chicago.
Pretty damn ad.
Come on.
Pretty good damn ad y'all dropped out. I actually liked it. Jamel Hill and I talked about it. But again, he's singling out cities where there are significant African Americans, and that's who he's talking about, black people.
Yes.
Now, family, most of us that are adults, that are grown, especially those of us that are accustomed to handling business and running businesses, we don't give a damn what nobody say about us. We are more concerned with what you do that affect our bottom line. That's what we care about. These two sound like two kids on a damn playground. He said this about me. I'ma tell it. You heard what he had said. See, this is how these idiots look at most of Black America. They think we're on that same infantile mind that they are on. Sitting up here talking about, leadership isn't about who you can beat down. It's about who you can lift up. All that childish nonsense. And you think I'm going to go vote for this? Huh, man, you got another thing coming. Let's let it continue.
Yes. There's this whole, I talked with somebody once who said, if you just look at where the stars are in the sky, don't look at them as just random things.
Do you hear this blithering moron? She's talking about stars in the sky. Everything except for shoring up that damn border and getting this economy right. Boy, I'm trying to see what I want to say, boy. Woo! Expect some more further commentary about some things on Patreon, because I can't see it. Boy, this is what y'all got up here talking about stars in the sky and everything. I mean, man, where's Homie the Clown when you need him, man? Because he need to bring that sock and bash it. Let's let it continue.
You just look at them as points. Look at the constellation. What does it show you? So you just outlined it, Roland. What does it show you? That the cities that he picks on in terms of black population or black mayor are both. Come on.
We're in North Carolina, and this has been a battleground over voting rights. Federal judges 8 years ago said there was laser-like precision targeting African Americans.
Yes.
That is still a major issue. You got the Supreme Court with their decision regarding Section 4 of the Voting Rights Act. And so what if Congress doesn't move, what can you do to shore that up? Because that continues to be a major issue. And with so many African Americans now moving from northern locations of Midwest back to the South, we're seeing these problems in Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and others.
Let me stop him right here, you bun-head bastard. You don't speak on Georgia, because black people in Georgia can vote just fine. Ain't nothing wrong with our voting rights. But see, let's further expound upon that. I've said this before, and I'm probably one of the only people you heard say it like this. If they're so concerned about voting rights of black people being in such danger, because, you can't really exercise your voting rights according to the Democrats unless you vote for Democrats, okay? Any other time, you don't have no right to vote unless you're going to vote for exactly who they tell you to vote, okay? But if they're so concerned about that, then okay, where's the Democratic candidate that's going to say, hey, listen, black people's voting rights are in such danger. Oh, the Republicans going to take your voting rights away. So I'm going to amend the Constitution so that your voting rights are not a part of a civil rights bill that's got to be voted upon every 25 years on lease. We're the only group in the country that's got voting rights on lease. Huh? Yeah, come on. If you're so concerned about that, hey, let's just make it permanent then. Every 25 years, prove me wrong what I'm saying. But I don't know nothing. I need to take a civics class. Let it continue.
Well, to your point, you mentioned North Carolina, which has been well documented. You look at, even though I must say that North Carolina has a governor in Roy Cooper who has tried to do everything he can to ensure that voting rights are intact, but he does not have a veto-proof majority in the state house.
Plus, Dems lost the Supreme Court as well. So
well, and so I think that we should all, whoever's in North Carolina watching this, Josh Stein running for governor, it's going to be very important. Pay attention to those state house races, because those, if they can change the balance in the state house, then they will be able to push through more protections for voting rights. But to your point, in Georgia, they passed a law.
Oh, I agree with her there. We need to pay attention to the state house and every other house across the country, because you need political punishment nationwide for the Democrat Party. Vote against blue no matter who. I get it. Your local elections, or that's what most concerns you. That's what counts the most. But as far as anything above the local level, they must be punished. They have to be handed a punishment for what they've done to Black America. Okay? And I'm prepared to do it. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, they keep running their mouth about Georgia. Just trust me. Wait till you see what happens with the numbers down here. Just wait. Just wait. Because see, a lot of people love to speak on this state for some reason. If they're not speaking about the entire state of Georgia, everybody think they know Atlanta. As all over the place. They got their mouth all over the place. Passed through here a couple of times, and now they're experts on this state or this city. Okay, just wait till November. Okay, you gonna learn all of this stuff. Georgia was flipped blue. Georgia is purple. Okay, you remember that now, because boy, I'm one that loves to whip up a mean slice of "I told you so" pie and shove it down your throat. I do. With nothing to drink. Pause. Let it continue.
Preventing people from giving food and water to folks who are standing in line to vote, which is the height of hypocrisy. Because, what happened to love thy neighbor, right? There is a full-on...
Did you hear this, jackass? What happened to love thy neighbor? This tell to just be all over the place. Awkward ass. Bitch, let me tell you something. If I'm going to vote, I know to eat before I come to damn vote, okay? Fact of business, we got early voting here, all right? A lot of us have sense enough to do that. Whether you can get something to drink or eat in a voting line ain't gonna make or break none of us. That's not what we out there for. We out there to cast a goddamn ballot and fucking leave, okay? That's it. What happened to love thy neighbor? That's a good question, bitch. What happened to love thy American citizen, you Skee Wee VP? What happened to that? $750 to hurricane survivors down here, and all these other policies that you enacted and part of the Biden-Harris administration for 4 years. And you got the nerve to talk about love thy neighbor. What about love thy country? But it's not really your country, though. Let's let it continue.
Attempt by some to attack hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights, including the right to vote. And part of it, if you track it, is if you look at the successes that we had, in particular in 2020, and in the height of a pandemic when people just said they were going to vote, they knew and they understood how important it was. Thereafter, you saw in state after state attempts by state legislatures to make it more difficult for people to vote. And here's what I would say to your...
Here's the other problem about this. Oh, voting rights are under attack. They're making it difficult for people to vote. See, the bullshit is making me sneeze. God damn it. The bullshit is making me sneeze, family. It's their fault. I'm blaming the Democrats for that. Yes, you dirty damn Democrats. You donkey party bastards. Here's the problem with that whole voting rights are under attack. They're making it so hard for people to vote. You can't say that and then turn around and brag about Joe Biden had 81 million votes. That's more than Barack Obama. So are our voting rights under attack or are they not? Because see, if voting rights was under attack, wouldn't he not have gotten that many votes? Come on now, which one is it? You can't have both. You got to choose one. Math does not work that way. It goes up or down. The numbers are there, okay? Boy, see, unfortunately for them, you know, those like myself and those of you in the chat room, we keep our brains turned on, okay? Unlike this damn airhead with that pebble rattling around our brain. Let's let it continue.
Listeners, don't let anybody take you out the game. There is an intent to make it more difficult. There is an intent to suggest to a lot of folks that their vote won't matter, with the intention that people will not vote, which is an attempt to silence folks. And what we know is the greatest progress we have achieved is when we jump over those obstacles that have been purposely laid to do what we know is about progress. And this election.
Who the fuck is we? So let me get this straight, because see, I'm trying to process this, because you know she likes to play you know, hopscotch and hot potato with her identity. So first you East Indian, then you Asian American, okay? Yes, we understand about the landmass and all that. Then you want to tell us that you black, all right? And now you speaking French. We. Who's the we? Bitch, you not one of my people. You mean we? And salute to the good brother K Wright in here. I see you, partner. Man, she done lost her mind, has she? Hey, K Wright, listen, let me tell you something, man. Don't make nasty comments about Kamala. You won't be able to have none of her tub wash greens recipes. She ain't gonna share it with you, man. You know, she gonna hoard that. I know you want that. And listen, I know all of you listening to the sound of my voice want access to the secret, unreleased, limited edition 80s Tupac mixtapes. I know you want to hear that, don't you? She's the only person that has them, okay? I'm just saying. But see, all this nonsense and this babbling that she got going on. Come on, man. Look, enough is enough. This is a punishment on America. Every time this woman gets before an audience, a microphone, and then she joined her fellow tethered idiot with his big block-ass head. Look at this motherfucker over here, boy. Boy, hey, when Jamal Green ran up on him, boy, he didn't have all that sass in him then, boy, because he's a big fucking punk, man. That's what Roland Martin is. But see, when you put these two together right here, man, this is torture. And I know I have to play this for you. I have to play it because, see, I'm proving a point with this. I want this broadcast to be on the record. It's going to stay up over here. So when she lose, refer back to this one and see if everything that I said in it isn't going to come to pass. Let it continue.
It's going to be no different. They've already started with the misinformation and the lies. We know that there is foreign interference, and I have to say to everybody listening to this, don't let them take your voice. Because I was part of the Senate Intelligence Committee when we investigated Russia's interference in the 2016 election. Black folks were targeted with misinformation because there was an assumption that you're already targeting a group of people who already have learned, based on a lived experience, that things aren't necessarily designed to work for them.
See, there they go again. They pulling that old "it's the Russians" out their ass. So never mind that black folks can't speak to what we actually live in this country. It's got to be Russian influence. Oh, boy, when I tell you she's making it easy to sink her campaign, all you got to do is just let her freestyle, boy. That's it. And then you put it with this idiot that don't have sense enough to try to even frame the questions where you steer her back in the right direction. You just sit there. See, let me teach this lesson. Family, especially young black people, this is why having a damn yes man is detrimental to you. It might stroke your ego and you might enjoy it, but a yes man is useless to you. In fact, a yes man or a yes woman is dangerous. He just sitting here letting her rattle on and on. Instead of, if he was a skilled shillbilly, that's right, a skilled shillbilly, that doesn't really exist, but bear with me. Hypothetically, if he was a skilled shillbilly, he would be asking questions that would steer her in a more intelligent direction. You know you can't let this idiot freestyle, but this one will because I'm just so happy she came on my show. I don't care about these stupid foods. She got me a big dozen of Krispy Kreme donut cream filled, and you know I'm happy, and so I'm gonna just let her talk as long as she want while I'm over here. And munching on the donut, so let's let it continue.
And manipulate that in a way that suggests to people that their vote won't matter. Because if you do that, they won't vote. That was the intention.
You said don't let them take you out of the game. What do you say to a young black woman, a young black man out there who is seriously considering the couch, who says my vote doesn't matter, who says that I have not seen policies that have changed my life, because that's there. That thought process is there. Folks 65 and older vote the highest, but as you keep going down, as you get that number just goes even lower and lower and lower. So what do you say to that young brother or sister who's watching?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, you finally had to admit that, because you remember Roland with your big Easter egg head. You were the one that said, don't worry about the young voters. They don't really count. Everybody trying to go and say, oh, well, now you want to acknowledge the facts that we all been saying here. Yes, the 15 on the crowd ain't rocking with Kamala or the Democrats. But see, I'm going to tell you what you say to them. You may as well say nothing, because, bitch, we're not listening to you. We're not listening to you. All of us that are, yes, I am under 50. All of us in the under 50 crowd, we're not listening, bitch. Ain't nobody trying to hear nothing you saying. We see what you done. What you gonna tell me when I can see what you've been doing? You don't have, look, the only thing I need to hear from you, anti-black hate crime bill, reparations, close the fucking border, okay? We the tangibles that you giving these illegal aliens, come on, look, that's the reparations package right there. Fact of business, family, let me go ahead and light a fire in the lexicon, the mental lexicon of my audience over here tonight. The demand should be, especially from the Democrats, okay, reparations, you want to know what it looks like? Because we already got taken care of who's eligible for it. That's not even up for debate. The package that you gave to immigrants, come on with it. Let's go. Yeah, come on now. Hey, family, what you think, huh? Shouldn't that be our reparations package? Everything that you giving to the illegal aliens, bring it on over here. Yeah, come on with it. That should be the requirement. I'm telling you, man, boy, if I have anything to say and if I can get my people on code to start demanding that, oh, boy, they'll be after you, brother. They'll be riding on little blue donkeys trying to run me over and everything, man. But that's all right. Let them come on over. I got something for them. Just let it continue.
Why they should vote, but why they should trust you be the 47th president.
So first of all, your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score, putting $16 billion in HBCUs, having the lowest black unemployment in recent history, the work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level, including a black woman on the United States Supreme Court for the first time.
Oh, no. Can't let her get away with that. Don't nobody give a damn about no representation that doesn't do a damn thing for the people that's supposed to be represented. We don't care about no damn representation, because we get you and Roland Martin and Barack Obama. That's what we get when you hand us representation. And see, they keep talking about that raggedy bed with Ketanji Brown Jackson. First of all, bitch, you misgendered her, because you remember when they asked her what is a woman, she didn't know. She didn't know how to answer that. What is a woman? That's what she said. Stop misgendering that woman. She don't know what she is. We don't know what that is, because she couldn't confirm that she was a woman. So, and look, let's be honest, for those of you that have seen what Ketanji Brown Jackson looked like, well, I wonder if she isn't a part of that community, boy, because that is a mighty powerful face that she has. I mean, maybe she knows something that the rest of us don't about her personal situation, how she chooses. I'm just asking questions. Maybe that's what it is. Okay? So, Kamala, you need to get that right. Stop misgendering her. Let's let it continue.
It's because people voted and demanded that. And the reality of how this system works is that we each have many ways that we are powerful. And one of those ways, very significantly, is through our vote. People sit down and they'll watch and say, okay, well, those folks aren't going to vote anyway. I don't need to listen to them. That's how this works. I don't feel that way. I'm going to go everywhere. That's why I'm in rural parts of North Carolina and Georgia and other places where people say, oh, your votes aren't there. But my people are there. People are there.
That's how Obama won the state in 2008.
You saw how she caught herself with that Freudian slip. My people are there. People are there. Yeah, we ain't your people. We are not your people. Look, family. Her people, Okay, your people actually do wash greens in a damn tub. Shout out to Super Ray, because that's the background you come from, East Indian woman. My people don't do that. I've never seen any of my grandparents on either side of my family wash no greens in no damn bathtub where we put people in, okay? And when we take humans take baths in. We ain't never seen that, okay? I ain't never seen it. The closest that you could come to some tub wash greens and foundational Black American Freedmen Society is if you had a grandparent and that's what they kept a little plastic tub or something for specifically washing food in, and it was in the kitchen and it never go in no bathtub or nothing like that. That's the closest you're going to get to some tub wash greens with us. Huh? Our people, her people, man, you know, lost your damn mind. Let's let it continue.
Well, but it's, the point is that I'm saying that not everyone and not the system doesn't necessarily work that way.
Mm-hmm.
The hard reality of the system is that often the people whose policies get pushed through are the people who actually demand what they want through their vote.
Squeaky wheel gets the most grease.
Often. That is the way it works. And when people.
So he thought he was smart when he said that squeaky wheel gets the most grease. Yeah. So the squeakiest wheel would be the American citizens right now. We're not getting the grease that these illegal aliens are getting. We're not getting the grease that Zelensky over there in Ukraine is getting. Where's the grease for the American citizens? But see, Roland, we know you know a lot about grease. You know a lot about chicken grease. You know a lot about dessert grease. You know a lot about bacon grease. You're a pretty greasy guy. You look greasy up here right now. You sound greasy. You do greasy things, slipping test questions and interview questions to people. You know all about grease, don't you? Let's let him continue.
People who are, and I'm not talking about myself, just anybody who's running for office, when they see young Black people are voting, they're going to say, well, I better know they're going to vote anyway. I better know what they want. Mm-hmm. I better listen to them. What do they want? Because I see that they turn out in big numbers.
Criminal justice. One of the things I keep hearing, Biden-Harris administration didn't get George Floyd Justice Act passed through. But what you have, though, is a very aggressive civil rights division that, and I've covered all the stories, the number of former police officers they've actually sent to prison, corrections officers, jailers. And I haven't heard
some of the highest numbers in recent history, and certainly.
Oh, you see how he just tried to skate past that? Yes, you didn't get that George Floyd policing accountability thing. Y'all just dumped that off as soon as you got in office. So you weren't concerned about that. The Lift All plan, you weren't concerned about that. And family, since over here in New Black Media, we make sure that we educate our audience with facts and not what we feel or what we surmise or think or anything like that. The police killings have gone up under their administration, just like Obama. Oh, go look it up for yourself. So all of this fantastic, aggressive civil rights division work, see, the Biden-Harris administration that sat here and let Carolyn Dunham Bryant die a peaceful death, that raggedy bitch, may she rest in peace. This is the same one that's talking about they got such an aggressive civil rights division. Huh? Oh, but you didn't go after that bitch, though, did you? What happened to Matrice Richardson? Huh? Oh, yeah, we ain't gonna stop bringing up that sister's name. What happened, Kamala? What happened when you were talking about you was gonna get justice for that? Didn't you turn around and side with the police? Oh, boy, I'm telling you, boy, this pesky reality thing that we live in, boy. Oh, boy, it's just a thorn in their side, man. But we gonna keep putting it back in their faces. Let it continue.
Compare those numbers to Trump administration, and you see a stark difference.
Yeah, he had one Paris and practice investigation and 12 under this DOJ.
Exactly right.
Will you continue having that aggressive of a DOJ civil rights division? Because the work that's being done, I mean, it doesn't get a lot of attention and it talked about a lot, but it is actually happening, the work that Kristen Clark and others are doing.
They're doing extraordinary work, and that is the work that would.
The same Kristen Clark that tried to go behind the family of Ahmaud Arbery and cut them damn white supremacists a damn deal. That Kristen Clark, that's who you talking about? Oh, see, they hate it when we point stuff out there like that to y'all. We know who be doing what over here. It's on the record. All you got to do is just point the general public that don't pay attention to it in the right direction. And when they see those of us in New Black Media telling the truth, this is why they listen to us and not mainstream media.
Continue in a Harris administration. Let me tell you something. And again, because Roland, I have to keep stressing not only the importance of every point, but the contrast between me and Donald Trump. under Donald Trump as president, those cases were not happening with any vigor or commitment. And not only that, he took resources out of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. We put resources into the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice so they could do the job they're supposed to do. And that absolutely would continue under me and my leadership. And it's about looking at what people have done or what they say. Again, you know the record of Donald Trump on these issues. You know the record of where he is on things like stop and frisk, right? And what the Project 2025 talks about.
There she go with the Project 2025 lie about. But you know what else we know, Commandment? And I agree, Sister Mrs. Ells, salute to you and your husband. Hey, I agree. I want to know what the work is too. But see, you know something that she doesn't realize here? We're actually paying attention to the Biden-Harris administration not being for removing qualified immunity. Oh, you ain't, listen, all this stuff they keep talking about Trump. Okay, well, what you got going on over here with these 4.5 years, these 4 years that you done had in office, and you hadn't chosen to act on any of this stuff? See, while Joe Biden was busy signing all them executive orders, y'all know the pictures I've showed y'all many times. I'm going to keep showing it. Where you was signing all them executive orders in that first 3 months till your pen was lighting on fire, okay? You could have been doing some of that you talking about in those executive orders, but you chose not to. You didn't. And we supposed to believe that you're going to turn around and do different now? Oh, boy. Yeah, see, you know what? Old Bun Head Martin, she had to go on there and do an interview with him because, boy, after Mr. Whitaker and Brett Baer, boy, oh, man. It's over with now because it's out there. This can't save you. And think about it. You finally go to the little flunky that you've been ignoring all this time. Boule Martin was bragging about being on Air Force 2, but you out right there in her face. She would never give you an interview until now. That go to show you he has no self-respect for himself because she would have came to me after ignoring me all that time. If I was a damn shield bill, I would refuse to do it. I'd be like, no. The time to talk to me was when I was asking you to do it. Let's let it continue.
So there is a real contrast here on criminal justice, as there is on almost every issue that we have discussed.
FBI director said white domestic terrorism was America's greatest threat. How do you get folks who are not black to understand that hate crimes are still real? These things are actually happening in the country, and they have to be dealt with and addressed. Mm-hmm. Because when you talk about that, folks go, oh, no, these things are not happening. But the reality is they are, and African Americans still are number one when it comes to hate crimes being reported against us.
Now you see this big chicken McNugget mutant head bastard talking about hate crimes, and now you acknowledging that we're the number one victims of hate crimes. But see, when we was telling you that the Asian hate crime bill, because that's what it is, it's got Asian all throughout the bill. You can go look it up. Many of us have shown you that. You wasn't advocating for us to be included in that Asian hate crime bill. Oh no, you was wagging your little fat fingers at us, talking about what we don't know and how stupid we are. But here you go, I'm going to turn around and ask that question to this bitch that don't give a damn about that. The bitch that's been spending most of her political career locking up black folks. You think she give a damn about anything going on to protect black America? She's already told us. I'm not going to do something other bit black fans say black people. Yeah. That's what she said. And she meant that shit. That's the only thing I can respect this shoe-faced bitch for. She said the shit and she meant it. Let it continue.
Well, I know that because I published the hate crimes report every year when I was Attorney General of California. And it is, to your point, about talking about it and making people clear that we have actually seen a spike in hate crimes across the board. And it does not help when you have somebody who is a former president and running to be president again, who is constantly fanning the flames of hate and division in our country.
And if you cared so much about it, when that Asian hate crime bill was passed, you would have been one of the loudest voices saying, we got to put black people in here. See, imagine if she would have did some of what I'm talking about here tonight. Think about it. If she would have did that and said, hey, wait a minute, I'm the vice president, I have a say so. We need to put black Americans in this. Look at these FBI numbers and statistics. They're the ones that lead. In fact, the business, it should be a black hate crime bill. But at the very least, we're going to put black Americans in here with these Asians and give them the same protections. If she really cared and did that right now, that alone would shore up her numbers with Trump. Okay? But you didn't do anything for it. See, we've given you this analogy in New Black Media many times. Imagine if you, in a situation where you're not paying your insurance premiums, but then all of a sudden you get into an accident or something, you need the insurance, and they be like, hey, man, you didn't pay nothing into this. We can't help you. That's where it is with Black America right now. You don't pay your insurance premiums, you don't get no support. And that's the way it's going to be from now on. Let's let it continue.
Constantly.
You often asked about Israel, Gaza, Ukraine. I never hear it come up conversations about Africa. You traveled there. Fastest growing, 6 of the top 10 fastest growing economies. Very young continent. A lot of folks complain about Chinese investment. But in terms of your presidency dealing with the continent in those countries, what will that look like? Because that's the future of this world when you look at, again, those economies. And I've been to several countries, and those presidents are saying, hey, we want to build.
You came with me. Come on now.
Well, no, I didn't go that trip, but but if you win, I'll go on the next one.
Well, let me tell you. So this has been, you're preaching to the choir. Listen, I believe so strongly, and that is part of the work I've done as vice president, that we've got to change the narrative around the relationship between the United States and the continent of Africa. For a long time, it has been one that has been about aid as opposed to partnership.
Or investment, right.
Partnership,
yep.
Which includes U.S. investment. So the work I've done as vice president has been to begin to change that relationship, and including the delegation that I took to the continent, which was focused on, I brought billions of dollars and have worked on billions of dollars of U.S. investment.
They can hang that up because, see, the Chinese and the Russians have got that on lock. They done beat you to it. They've come up with a better plan to finesse continental African leaders over there. And by extension, the people have to suffer because their leaders are sellouts. They got you. You're not going to get back in there. That's done. That era of the United States and these Western countries meddling their affairs like that, they beat you. The Russians and the Chinese came together. They said, look, let me just go ahead and be blunt about that. And I'm not saying this with any joy, but I'm just pointing out what's going on. The Russians and the Chinese, before they implemented their plans there down there in Africa, they basically got together behind closed doors and had their own version of the Berlin Conference and say, hey, look, okay, China, you take this part, we'll take this part. We's going to go in here and finesse them. Let's not go in here and try to be overly aggressive towards them. Let's go ahead and trap them with debt diplomacy, giving them loans they know they can't pay back, get their stupid ass leaders, the sellouts, to sign over their seaports, their airports, their electric power companies, their mines and everything, you know, their national assets that you never put up for collateral on no damn loan if you're the leader of a country, okay? Look, there's no African leader that can go to a European Western country, Chinese, a Russian, and say, hey, in order for you to get something from me, I need you to put your national assets up as collateral. You never do that. Oh, but these idiots are doing. They're doing that right now as we speak, selling out continental Africans' birthright. Let me tell you something, man. I feel bad for that, but we got to take care of our business over here in America. We have to. That's done. All these flights of fancy you got about going back over there, you better understand that countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, that's going to become a wave over there, whether you like it or not. They're not trying to be under Western rule no more. Now, you can make them make the strong argument that, okay, well, they're trading one devil for another, and that would be very true. But, hey, their decision to make. Those are their countries. They can run them how they see fit. Let's let it continue.
In the continent and in countries on the continent of Africa, looking at what we need to do around, also I've been partnering with technology companies around digital inclusion, so ensuring that folks have access to fintech, to financial banking and sectors. But to your point, the median age on the continent is 19. By 2050, 1 in 4 people on Earth will be on the continent of Africa. That is so, so, so exciting. If we see it in terms of global policy, for the opportunity it presents to invest in partnership and to do the work that is about understanding the mutual benefit.
Let me take this time in the broadcast and mention this to my continental African brothers and sisters. If you happen to find your way over this broadcast, I will give you this warning, particularly the young ones. You better go back and study what Dr. John Henry Clark said about that word partnership. If you don't have the ability to punish those that you're in partnership with, it's not a partnership. It's a master-servant relationship, okay? If you don't have the ability to punish those in a partnership that break any agreement between you, it's not a partnership. You serving them, and they're ruling over you. Anytime these nations use the word partnership, think about it. Look, all you have to do if you disagree with what I said, if you don't want to hear what Dr. John Henry Clark said, okay, because he broke it down far more eloquently than I just did, all you got to do is look at the past so-called partnerships and show me the one where the Africans are calling the shots over there in these partnerships. Go ahead, show me the one. Show me the partnership where if something goes wrong, African leaders can summon the other leaders from Western nations, Russia, China, wherever, and say, hey, you better come over here, you better get right. Show me the partnership where the continental African leaders have the ability to put sanctions on other nations like they do their countries. Till you can show me that, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. Reality is right in front of you. Let's let it continue.
So that is very much on my agenda as a priority. It has been as vice president, and it will continue to be if I am and when I am elected president.
And mentioning those countries, when we talk about immigration, it has been African Americans. It's been in some quarters extremely contentious, and I've said, wait a minute, there are people who are coming from African nations, who are coming from Haiti, who are coming from Bermuda, who are coming from different countries, and you have these battles happening in Chicago and New York. What are you?
Roland, Kamami, and the rest of you tell us we don't give a damn about that. Because unfortunately, from some of them countries, too damn many of them coming over here are anti-black, just like the non-black ones. It's too many. I know it's not all, and I love my brothers and sisters across the global black diaspora. I do. But it's too many coming from the nation that come over here and join with these white supremacists. So no, and I'm going to tell you, be as mad as you want, I'm not for any illegal immigration. Let me further underscore that. None. Absolute fucking zero. We need a good 20 years with no immigration at all. And that means there are women and their children. I'm not one of them that's going to be like, yeah, well, the men can go back to bring the women and children. No, fuck that too. Nope. All of you, take your asses back over there where you belong. If you over here legally, no, I don't want you over here. I can't come to your country and get free goodies and tangibles and be there illegal and commit crimes. I can't do that. Not that I want to, but I can't do it. So you shouldn't do it in the country that my ancestors built. No. I'm not for any of it because, see, let me tell you something. I understand the sentiment that a lot of people are saying where they be talking about, well, let the women and children know. But see, here's the problem with that. This is a new wave of illegal immigrant over here. It's not just the men committing crimes. These women are up here hoeing up and down New York streets and everywhere else there, Chicago. And then if you think for a second, and you know what? Some people don't know this type of information. If you think for a second that there aren't female cartel members, you got to be out your damn mind. So no, they do commit the same crime that the men commit. See, that's an archaic way of thinking. Saying, oh, the women are innocent. They no, they're not. No, the fuck they are not. You better go and look up the percentage. I'm not going to even tell you the number. Look up the percentage of the drug mules that are actually caught when they do catch them. And just look at the ratio of men to women. Huh? That's just in one area. So I'm just saying, for me, hell no. All of them need to go. I ain't trying to hear it. Nope. You coming over here and you anti-black just because you wearing black skin? We get clowns like that chaotic truth idiot that was over in Brother Tariq's X-Space sitting on there letting the white folks call him the N-word and everything. Oh, man. No, we don't need no more of that. Let's let it continue.
Say to African Americans specifically about immigration and how are you going to deal with that? Because there was a reason folks were being sent to various cities to create the tension. But it's talked about. It's there. It is a real concern. So what do you say to African Americans specifically who say, shut it all down, folks can't come in, close the border, who sound in many ways like MAGA folks?
That damn what that sound like MAGA folks shaming tactic. Listen, I don't give a damn what you call me. I got common sense and I see what the condition of my people is. You can call me everything but a child of God. I'm not going to support that damn illegal immigration. You can't shame me into supporting something that I see is clearly hurting my people.
So first of all, I have prosecuted transnational criminal organizations for the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. I have had a career, including...
She even did it to Boule Buffet Master Martin. That's not the question he asked you. The answer she given don't have nothing to do with what he taught. I prosecuted transnational organizations. He didn't ask you about that. Oh my God, boy, the same canned ham. That's how you know this is an airhead. She just repeat the same shit over and over and over again.
Now of prioritizing that we must have a secure border. And in fact, on the issue of immigration, let's be clear, some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, together with others, had a bill to secure the border even more, and Donald Trump got wind of it, and because he thought it would hurt his political chances in this election, told them not to put it up for a vote. He killed the bill.
And if you and Joe Biden are that fucking weak that someone that no longer has presidential powers can do that to you, you don't need to be in the job. Move over and let the man get back in there.
That would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why the border agent union supported it. That bill would have stemmed the flow of fentanyl, which is affecting people of every race and background and geographic location in our country.
No, you're not. You're not going to put that shit on my people. See, this how you know that she relate more to them folks. No, that fentanyl is not killing our people like that. It's killing their people. Black folks with sense ain't running around and using that. Now, you know who is using that? That blends in and people think they're black, these damn tethers. They look, these goofy tether bed winches and bed bugs, oh, they'll go over there and get high with them folks and get took out on that stuff. Most foundational black American freemen ain't running around doing no fentanyl. Look, our people, and I'm not advocating for it, you see our people, hey, they got some alcohol, they get them a little bit of weed, and that's mostly it. You don't even see crackheads running around like that no more. Huh? You don't. That's very small percentage of people that still on stuff like that. So no, you're not finna make their problem our problems, because that's another thing that white supremacy tries to do. It takes an issue that affects them and try to project it onto us and make you see this is affecting all of us. No, it's not. Even though a segment of our women are making very foolish decisions and unaliving these children, our birth rate numbers aren't where y'all's are. That fentanyl issue, that's a you problem. That meth issue, that's a you problem, white America. Don't try to project that on my people. Let it continue.
That bill would have given more resources to prosecute transnational criminal organizations. Donald Trump told him, cancel that bill because he wants to run on a problem instead of fix a problem. I'm about fixing problems. And that includes, when I am elected president, bringing back up that border security bill, and I will sign it into law. We also must have an immigration system that is humane and orderly. We have to increase the number of asylum judges. We need to make sure that people who are fleeing harm, that we give.
No, let me stop right there on that asylum crap. First of all, these people that's running up here, they're not running from asylum seekers or people that's fleeing war-torn countries. These people not fleeing no war-torn country. They coming up here because they heard they getting a whole bunch of free stuff. But see, let me go ahead and talk further about what I would do with this whole illegal immigration thing, talking about we need more asylum judges. No. What you need is, I said about the military bases early in the broadcast, in case you missed it, implement that. And then as far as like this whole thing where, well, it's got to take 10 years for you to hear your case. Okay, it'll take 10 years, but you won't be in America while them 10 years is going on. No, you're not going to just run around over here into that time, a whole decade. Have you lost your damn mind? Look, if I was in charge, that shit would be reversed immediately. I'll like, oh, no. And look, let me tell you something. If I was in charge, Greg Abbott wouldn't have had to ship illegal aliens all over the place. I would have gave all the border states the authority to do what you will with illegal aliens crossing your sovereign boundaries as a state. You damn right. And I said do what you will. Yep, I meant that. The same security that you have in places like Dugway Proving Ground, okay? Places like that, you go wandering around up there without permission to see what happened to you. Huh? Go out to certain areas like Groom Lake out west and see what happened to you. You ain't got permission to be out there. Make it past that damn second ring of security to see what was happening to you. Huh? It ain't gonna be nothing nice. I would give these states along that southern border the same authority to exercise that type of security or measure, okay? So now we don't need no more judges. We just need laws on the books to be enforced. That's it. So let it continue.
Give them a chance to explain their situation in a meaningful way because
and yes, of course, my brother Black Truth United, we got to have the catapults. It wouldn't be a properly secure border unless you had the catapults. And look, I'll be somewhat humane. I would only use the catapults on the repeat offenders that just keep trying to come over here. You got to give them a reason not to come back. So you got to ball their little ass up and tie them together and fling them back over there, okay? And I'm talking about industrial side, a giant catapult looking. The Game of Thrones catapults wouldn't have nothing on mine. Let it continue.
America also is a place that we have said we will receive people who are fleeing persecution. They got to make their case. And then they got to be on a path where they earn the right to be here and become citizens, which means we need to have a comprehensive immigration policy that includes requiring people to earn and work hard to earn their citizenship.
The last question, since your folks are dancing back here, so I see them all in my periphery, so y'all can relax, Cedric.
Congressman.
Huh? Well, you know, he's a Saints fan too. We won't talk about that. Why do you want this? Why do you want to be president? There's somebody who's saying, why should I trust her with the power of being commander in chief?
I love our country, Roland. I believe in the American people. And I know we are a people who have the character, that have ambition, that have aspirations, dreams. And I intend to be a president who meets people with opportunities for them to not just get by, but get ahead. I believe in our country and the importance of its strength in terms of what that means to the world. As Vice President of the United States, I have met over 150 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. I know the importance of America retaining respect as a power around the globe. And that's why I am putting in the hard work of working to earn every person's vote so we can actually turn the page on what has been otherwise years of an attempt to divide us as a nation, to have Americans point their fingers at each other.
This nation has already been divided, boy. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. You know what? I think maybe she keeps using that because, you know, I believe they read this hell for fairy tales out of Big Book, okay? That's what I think. And when she get drunk, they just read her fairy tales. That's what she sounds like. Turn the page, turn the page. No, we're going to turn the page on this goofy administration here that's done jacked up this economy and made our nation unsecure. And to the brother Dad Miller TV2, he asked, how much is the border catapult job paying? Listen, man, 6-figure salary, and you get to jack them from coming over here, all the tacos, enchiladas, quesadillas, and the horchata that you can get, okay? That's what you get. Hey, look, that would also be my rule. I'm dead serious. If I was in charge, any illegal alien that come over here, hey, man, listen, dog. If my Border Patrol agents and you know, the National Guard and Reserve decide you got some nice stuff to take from you, well, I didn't see nothing. That's just how I would do it. Let's let it continue. Salute to the good sister Black Mama here. Let it continue. We almost at the end of it, fam. I know. I just had to play this because I'm going to give my final commentary on something, and I'm going to see what y'all think about this, and you'll tell me your thoughts on it. So let it continue and finish up.
Years of belittling people and promoting fear. People are exhausted with that. They're ready to turn the page. They're ready for a new generation of leadership that's about charting a new way forward. And that's what I intend to do with a sense of optimism and being clear-eyed about the challenges that folks face and the opportunities that we have to address those challenges in a way that strengthens our nation.
Oh, certainly appreciate it. And let me wish you a happy early birthday.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say the age because I'm not trying to have all these sisters get an attitude. I can't believe you did that. But, you know.
Yeah, but I would, for your well-being, I would advise you not to do that.
But it'll be published anyway. So we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate it.
Oh boy, she liked that interview because she got a chance to pull the cackle off, boy. Boy, she gets a chance to cackle, boy. She happy, boy. But see, when you hit over some real questions, and look, if you can't handle the interviews that these people that are journalists are giving you, unless you're getting softball, how you gonna be the president of the United States dealing with geopolitical issues? But see, family, here's my question. Now that you've heard the audio from that portion of the Boule Buffet Master interview there with Commandment, is it not a reach to ask my audience this? Can we all unanimously agree that that was the most useless interview of a presidential candidate that you've ever heard? Would my audience agree on that? I want to know. Tell me, family. Would you not agree that that was the most useless interview of a presidential candidate you've ever heard in your lifetime? Because it's up there for me, okay? It's got to be top 5. Boule Master Buffet didn't ask anything of substance. It was obvious that you're sitting there like a big, fat, sassy fangirl. Because I get it. You know, she walked in there and waved them Krispy Kreme donuts in his face, and boy, he couldn't resist. But see, listen, I'm going to send y'all out on one final note here because, see, you know, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And I'm going to tell you why I believe Boule Martin is so for a commandment, because for all we know, Boule Martin might have been a part of this crew right here. He might have been a part of these guys.
Forget that. Y'all want to act like y'all want a part of it? We greased up each other. Especially you, Will. I had you shiny, boy. You too, Callie. Baby, all boys, but I guess y'all forgot. We ripped each other apart at my parties. Say I'm lying. Baby, all this a rock and a little bit of Marvin Gaye make me feel like a man. Rose, you know you like Marvin Gaye. And not to mention you, Meek Mill. Trying to make it look like I'm the only one out here.
Rolling around with these bitches that don't even love me, they just want a part of my buzz. Tell my mama about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a theory, man. I just had to play that because, see, you know, for all we know, hey, the Dylan be like, hey, Boule Martin, you know I got your tape, player. Nah, you know, I mean, listen. No, don't act like you wasn't a part of it. You heard what Dylan told. Don't act like you wasn't a part of it. So maybe, I mean, we see what Roland like looking on his iPad. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. I just had to go there with it. I had it on my mind. I saw it. Y'all had to see it too. Okay. So salute to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. Like I said, take this for what it's worth. And again, I'm very proud of Black America, especially my lineage, for coming to our political senses, entering a new age of political maturity. We start to respect ourselves and make sure that we do what we need to do, take care of ourselves, our community, and be in an empowered state that we're supposed to be in. Okay. So thank you very much. I want all of you to remember what we talked about here tonight. At the end of the day, it's your decision to make, whichever one you choose to make. But just keep in mind that our ancestors did not die for us to just vote for nothing. They died for us to be free and not to just survive, but to thrive. Okay. So with that said, salute to you, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.